Well, this feels very strange. This isn't a Friday. It's not even a Monday. This is a Thursday evening, and we're here at the PJ Campbell Network doing a watch-along? What is going on? How is everyone? Happy quarantine time. Of course, I am your host, PJ Campbell. How is everybody tonight? I hope you guys are well. We've got quite the show lined up for you tonight because I've got two special guests, one person that you guys probably recognize, and I think you both recognize the guest too, but one normal person from our panel that everybody knows, and I'm just going to introduce him right up front. Evan Degraff is in the house. How are you, sir?
I was really hoping I was going to be the special guest, but I kind of see how it is.
You're definitely not at this point.
As you said, it's a Friday night. Wait, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday, and we're both right here, so it's fine.
Anyways, I'm excited. I haven't seen this movie before, but before we get into that, I have to get into some announcements. I have to do all the housekeeping. For some reason, I'm the mom of the channel. But first things first, yesterday, Chris Clark had the return of Suddenly Soundtracks. If it'll pop up, there we go. Top 10 Disney soundtracks, which wasn't really top 10. Take a look and see what happens. A lot of people got pissed off, but I somehow ended up happy in the end, and I wasn't even on the stream. So, guys, go check it out. It was actually a really good time. I was sitting there watching it with Michael K and a bunch of other people. Some rocks were thrown, some fists were thrown. Pat, I imagine you went through some hell. That's all.
But I made it back.
You made it back, and then today, obviously, we're doing Big Trouble in Little China, and then we also have tomorrow National Treasure.
We're stealing the Declaration of Independence.
And it's already April, and we're stealing the Declaration of Independence. It's not even New Year. It's not even the 4th of July. We are doing it early.
It's the quarantine, you guys.
We're doing it fast. We got to do what we got to do. I'm actually really excited for this one. I love this movie. It's so stupid on so many levels, but in all the right ways. It makes you feel warm. It makes you feel safe. And then with that, we are also doing the greatest Broadway musicals. PJ, that's your show. Come Sunday, I believe, and it's gonna be a really cool panel. You, myself, I believe we have Maxwell Haddad on it. That's a spoiler.
That was a spoiler, but you said that out loud.
We also have Rachel Silverstream. Do you have anyone else on there, PJ?
Video Drew is joining us as well.
I'll be my first stream with her and Rachel Silverstream as well, so it'll be an exciting time. And then on what is 420, there will be a very special 420 episode where I don't want to give too much away, but you're gonna have some pretty special guests on, aren't we?
We're gonna have some very special guests ranking the top 10 stoner films, not necessarily comedies, but stoner films. So take that for what you will. We got a good panel. Rachel will be back. Maxwell Haddad will be back. Our special guest, Mark and Draco, in the house, talking all sorts of weed fun. And I think Evan might be there to be parent because there's going to be some good times.
Who would have thought the 19-year-old would have to parent everyone? Anyways, and just to shout out Chris Clark one more time, we are doing he has his schedule up there for you guys. On the 22nd is the they're doing a watch on of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then on the 29th is the grand return of Suddenly Soundtracks, that edited show that y'all know front and back. We love to see it. And then also on May 6th, they're doing the watch on of what won the show yesterday. So make sure you guys are there for that. And then last but not least, we have two more watch alongs. We're doing DuckTales, the movie, on Monday. It's gonna be a great time. I'm very excited because I haven't seen the old DuckTales, and I'm very curious to see why this new adaptation of it is so good and where it came from. And then last but not least, you and I are over the moon about this. We have Mark Ellis on for Young Guns 2. I just want to cut to the chase. Super excited for this, but we do have some stuff to focus on for today. So, PJ, why don't you keep introducing some folks?
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce first. This man is the man who made all this possible because he reached out to me when he saw that I had his dungeon mate on. We had a Tremors watch-along. We had such a good time hanging out with everyone, and I had this gentleman reach out and go, why did you have him on when you didn't have me on? So, we love Smets around here, but we also love John Kaiser, who is in the house, ready to talk his favorite film of all time, Big Trouble in Little China. How are you, my friend?
I'm well, PJ. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, man. I'm happy to have you here.
I've never met the other two Dickie dudes. Who are these guys?
So, this is the one who you wanted to sing the Friends theme song to you over to my right.
Evan.
Evan.
Yeah.
So, but you haven't met this other person. This is a gentleman you thought should have been in the dungeon with you, and that is Tim Franco.
I had my eye on Tim Franco. I still do.
Yeah, you should. He's good. He's real good. So how are both?
Franco, you belong with us. I mean, wouldn't you say like we're probably the best faction for you at this stage of your career?
I mean, I do like medieval things, and dungeons are medieval.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
That's a half a vote of confidence. I'll take that.
I feel like you deserve a little bit more than that for all the things that you've accomplished so far in the last year and a half in the Schmodown. I feel like Kaiser deserves a little bit more love than that, personally speaking.
Well, Franco was the only person in corruption that I actually liked and respected. I didn't. And the rest of them, they're all they're a bunch of roadside clowns at best. But Franco is obviously, in my opinion, was the most talented person in corruption, and so that's why we're keeping the door open for you.
I mean, let's say I mean. I was in corruption, but if you look back at all the pictures they were always posting together, I was never in any of the pictures. So,
see, they disrespected Zipper. I brought him over to the dungeon. You see what happens if they start disrespecting all these big movie brains? And I'm telling you, I'll find a home for you guys. We'll get you some training reps in.
I'm trying to give away my corruption shirt. Nobody seems to want it.
Why don't you raffle it off tonight? You might make 4 cents. You might get a wooden nickel out of it.
Man,
I'll sell better than any Jeff Snyder shirt.
Dude, I would put $20 on it that Chance Ellison himself has to buy it just out of shame that no one else would buy the corruption shirt off it, Tim.
I tried to give it the chance, but he fat shamed me last time I saw him.
Did he really? That's about right for a guy like that.
He just said that won't fit me. Your shirts are bigger than me.
By the way, we're selling these beauties over at dungeon/kaiserfund.com. We got these Smasher shirts, $15.99. $13.99 if you watch tonight. Maybe we'll give you a discount. Get your Smasher shirts.
I mean, as one does. He's the best business. No, he is the best businessman in the league. I just want that thrown out here right now. Like, no one gets what Kaiser does. Kaiser is the best at this. There's a reason that he is the best manager right now, too. I mean, I'm just going to say it. That's what he does.
Wow. Wise man. Very wise man.
I like to keep
the question writer.
I'm not going to say it's biased. I'm just going to say that, keeping I keep my eyes open. I pay attention. I'm not going to say I can be bought, but I can also say that, I like certain people around here.
Right.
The gentleman who wanted to talk Big Trouble in Little China, he's a genius and a scholar. He's the only manager who's been here so far.
I had no idea that Franco was coming along for the ride. What brought you to the viewing party, pal?
I was watching Tremors one last week, and that's when Pat. I call Pat PJ Pat, so everyone's got to get used to it. Pat announced it, and I commented in the chat. I was like, "How do I get in on this watch along?" And then Pat texted me and was like, "You want to be in on it?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so that's really all it was to it. I love this movie, so yeah.
Well, you're talking about a film that is in a genre all its own. It took Chinese mysticism, monsters, comedy, action, and just put it all into one movie. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It is. I mean, I tend to say Back to the Future is the best film of all time.
Me too.
I'd say that's I'd say that like as far as cinema goes, if we're gonna talk like scholars, I think that's the best movie I've ever seen. That said, this is my favorite movie of all time.
Hey, Kaiser, real quick, we have Tim Sim in the chat asking, since Parker versus Cabrera is releasing to the public tomorrow, what do you want to say regarding that match? Real quick, just before we get a little deeper.
Well, here comes Parker, and he's going to show you guys what's up. I mean, look, he's got a lot of hype coming into this league, but the man can back it up. He can pick your pocket too, which is a good quality to have in the dungeon. We never know where our next dollar is coming from, so having a pickpocket and a knockout artist in the dungeon, it's win-win. So we're excited for that. I'm going to have a exhibition match against Bobby Gucci coming up. Now y'all want to tune in for that slugfest. Christian has not released the release date of it, so stay tuned for that one. I'm gonna get after Gucci in this one. I owe him one after Orlando.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I was very excited when they announced that because I got to write all those questions for it, and I wanted it to go well for everybody involved. I just also want to say real quick, we already got a $10 donation from the Streamlabs from Sean Sullivan. He says, hey, PJ, here's some gas money for your trip to Palm Springs because I want to go get some weed. Kaiser, tell Piggy Smalls we said what's up. Love Sean, Jillian, and Megan.
Well, Sean, we look forward to having you over at the dungeon to visit Piggy Smalls, you and the family. I also have some, I got my toilets backed up. So maybe you could look at that, Sean, when you get over here while Jillian and everybody else is hanging out with Piggy Smalls. So see you soon, pal.
So, if you guys are watching with us tonight, you may not necessarily have Big Trouble in Little China. A lot of you probably haven't seen it, which is okay. I understand.
Pathetic.
But Kaiser was nice enough, and I'm going to post this link one more time in the chat, to giving us a link to be able to watch the movie tonight. I'm not going to ask how he got it or how he found it. We're just going to
I know people.
Exactly. So we have posted the link in the chat. What we're going to go ahead and do, everyone's going to have their movie set to 0 seconds, just like the rest of us here. We are going to count down from 5 to 1. As soon as I say go, you're going to hit play. We're all going to watch together. But one thing real quick, I just want to ask Kaiser, where did you discover this movie before you saw it? Like, what was it about this film that you were drawn to? Did you see it in theaters? Was it in VHS after? What was the situation there?
Me and a bunch of my buddies in Rochester, New York, we grew up a bicycle ride away from a movie theater called Cine 8. And that's where we would spend our summers. And I'll never forget, because I wasn't old enough, but I went and bought a ticket for Big and snuck into Die Hard. See what I mean? So I had my A game working when I was, a minor. And so at the same theater, I did see Big Trouble in Little China, and then I immediately fell in love with it. My dad's buddy owned a video store, and I probably rented this movie 16 times, and at one point, the guy, Bill Mirator, said, just keep the tape, kid. You know what I mean? Like, you're wearing it out at this point. So it's me and Gucci had a conversation about this. We were talking about what we've been watching since lockdown and pandemic. And him and I said the same thing. We've been watching comfort movies. He's like, I just watched 48 Hours. I was like, no shit. I just watched The Warriors. You know what I mean? Like, we both are watching Walter Hill movies, but it's a comfort movie, man. It's something you can always run to. I think Jack Burton is my favorite. Jack Burton and John McClane are my two favorite cinema characters of all time. I'm waiting for someone to put them in a comic book together, like Jack Burton and John McClane. That would be some shit, right? But I think they're very similar characters. What I love about Jack Burton is he's funny. He gets in his own way. He's not a hero. He's almost the sidekick in this movie. It's his buddy who knows all the karate moves, right? And Jack's just, and let's face facts. I mean, Jack Burton, he's a big mouth. So am I. Bit of an egomaniac. So am I. I relate to Jack Burton on so many levels. He's not a thinker, and he's full of shit. So these are qualities that really resonate for me. And I think, and Tim, you could probably talk about this. Would you say Jack Burton sort of shattered the mold for what iconic American heroes were like in cinema back in the day with Arnold and Sly? Like, he was a completely different bird.
Yeah, like you said, he's just kind of, he's definitely, if you read about this movie, they mention that actually is the fact that he's like a sidekick disguised as a hero or aspiring to be the hero. He's very bumbling. He doesn't do things very well. He's kind of like James Bond. James Bond is very similar. James Bond, is a spy, but he really kind of messes up a lot along the way. And Jack Burton's very similar to that.
And Jack Burton has a mullet. Let's not forget that.
A mullet and a kick-ass tank top. Right. But another interesting thing about him is like, I think the representation in this film of the Asian characters. So most of the pretty much, there's not very many like Western actors in this movie. Mm-hmm. They used a lot of Asian actors, which was great. And pretty much all of the Asian actors are kind of like the ones that stand out in terms of like being the heroes. Like you said, his partner Wang Chi is really the one that's like kicking ass. And then you got Egg Shen kicking ass. And really Jack is just kind of along for the ride.
Well, it's interesting, real quick, not to interrupt you guys. Tim Sim just donated $10 as well and said, this is the first time I'm watching this film as an Asian American. I find this flick interesting. And I think that goes to exactly what you gentlemen are talking about right now.
Well, Tim, get ready. It's King Kong and Kung Fu mixed into one film. It really is unique. John Carpenter and Stanley Kubrick are my two favorite filmmakers of all time. And, John Carpenter makes very traditional Hollywood sort of style movies, but with a very singular, unique vision.
Mm-hmm.
A Carpenter movie when you turn it on. The Thing, ain't nobody else making that movie but Carpenter. Escape from New York, you bet your ass nobody's making that movie but Carpenter. So he's a very traditional filmmaker, almost like a John Ford, but in a very sort of mystic, super stylized way. And so his soundtracks kick ass, his movies kick ass. I mean, I would be hard pressed to think of anybody on this planet other than Kurt Russell to play this character. I don't know how the hell else it would work with anybody else.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
You go. I'll finish.
No, I'm done. I was done.
So I was just say it's funny you say that because I think originally like Clint Eastwood,
really,
Jack Nicholson. I think Carpenter originally wanted like a big name because he wasn't like completely sold on the story because this story was kind of like really messed up when it was.
It was originally a Western, Tim, set in like the late 1800s.
It was originally written to take place in like the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And Carpenter didn't like that, and I did the studio that bought Paramount that bought it, and so they brought in W.D. Richter, who directed.
Oh right.
Directed
Munchausen.
He directed Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
And he came in to do a rewrite of the script. And really moved it forward to take place because it was supposed to take place in Western San Francisco instead of like modern day San Francisco, which is what they changed and added a lot of elements to. But yeah, Carpenter wasn't fully sold on it, so he thought he might need a bigger actor. But and Kurt Russell wasn't sold on it either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he thought it was going to be. He didn't think it was going to do well, but he still really enjoyed doing the role.
And it didn't do well. It tanked at the theater, Tim.
Yeah,
well. And you know what's funny is you guys bring up the fact that it was supposed to be a Western, and we can kind of talk about it as we watch because you can see the influence of that. But like the Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. would pull from that Western influence side of what this movie was supposed to be just a couple of years later on Fox, and it only lasted a season. So even if you had taken that influence and tried to do it as a movie, I wonder if it would have gone the same way. So we can talk about that while we watch it, which will be interesting.
I do think it's ironic that this has easily been our longest intro yet to a watch along.
Well, I mean, when you get Tim Franco and Kaiser into a room.
These Metallica beers aren't going to drink themselves, so we need some time. Yes. Lars Ulrich sent me this. Thank you.
All right. So let's go ahead and start the movie. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to count down from 5. When I hit 1 and say go, everyone hit play, and we're all going to sit back and relax and watch a little bit of Big Trouble in Little China together. We're going to commentate this thing, and I can't wait to hear what these two gentlemen have to say about the film as we go along. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
I was told there wasn't going to be math.
That is such a great Chevy Chase reference, old school SNL right there, and I love that every time.
That definitely went way over my head.
I love the intro to this movie.
Oh, I do too. And again, we were just watching Tremors just last week, and that gentleman is just one of the all-time great character actors. Mr. Wong.
So Carpenter actually added this in himself because in his words, the studio execs didn't understand Jack Burton as a character. So he wrote this into the film to kind of like explain, I guess, Jack Burton.
So this was probably from the test screening, I would assume.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's got their captions on so they can read the movie while I'm running my mouth.
No, I'm sure they do. And Mike K has a suggestion. Kaiser, I'd love to see what you think, but he says, if these watch-alongs continue post-quarantine, we need to do a John Carpenter month.
Ooh, well, I will be available, and I'll be on those shows. The Thing, I mean, God, I'll tell you.
Dude, They Live? Come on.
Escape from New York is everything to me, So.
Prince of Darkness.
I'll tell you what, Kaiser, and this is a little tease for later on. We might have made an Escape to New York promo already for potentially having you on. That was something we'd already floated because you and I had talked about it.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to do that one with you too. That's my next favorite one.
I just can't wait to have you on, whatever you want to be on, because it's a pleasure to have you to talk John Carpenter. You and I talked about this off mic before. It's like long before we had decided to do this, just how much you and I love John Carpenter, period.
Yeah, no, he like I said, him and Kubrick, I think, are the two greatest filmmakers that ever lived. That's just my opinion.
This already gives me a vibe for a midnight movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like out of the gate.
So this movie, obviously, I was 2 years old when this came out, but I've seen it in theaters several times thanks to like the Loft Cinema here in Tucson. I've seen it multiple times in theaters, and it's for screens just like that, like cult classic midnight showings.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I agree with that. And the next time it's down here, Kaiser, we'll go ahead and hit you up and let you know so you can come down and watch it with us because you're not too far.
This is like one of the best lines in the movie.
I'm in.
Also, Kaiser Smets wants to know if you're feeling okay after that ass whooping last night, and if you guys are on speaking terms again.
You know what? The answer is no. I'm not speaking to Smets. I support him. I fly his colors. But no, he can. He's probably never seen this movie. Knowing him, I've got to enlighten that man to what it means to what real cinema is. I showed him Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid for the first time. It's like his favorite, or in Midnight Run. And Midnight Run's like his favorite movie.
Oh, dude, that movie's incredible.
No,
Midnight
here
Run.
we go.
Exactly the kind of movie we talk about.
This is the scene you want to watch here.
We all love Kurt Russell, man. We all stand Kurt Russell in this house.
This movie is my favorite.
Nailing a ham sandwich, talking shit into his CB.
Kevin, I want to assume you're talking about my shirt real quick. If you guys haven't, Fright Rags has a great Big Trouble in Little China shirt. You guys should check it out. Just
could be the Smasher one. It could be the Smasher shirt.
It could be, but I'm also gonna just assume he's talking Big Trouble.
What? No Killer Clowns from Outer Space fans?
I mean, we all love Killer Clowns.
Franco, that should be your next tag team, the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, wherever your partner is.
No, but you should call it the Killer Clowns from the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
PJ, you're gonna love the shirt I got under this.
Star Drew says, "Wait, Kim, Sex and the City lady, is in this movie." Wow, yes, she is.
Is that video, Drew?
No, Star Drew is one of our frequent supporters. We support Star Drew. Thank you for being here, Star Drew.
Thank you for coming, Star Drew. Now,
Star
for
Drew.
those of you who don't know this, and I'm sure, Evan, you don't,
Probably not.
let me enlighten you. John Carpenter also did the score for this. He does his own music. He did all the music to Halloween, everything, Escape from New York. And once a year, him and his son do a concert on Halloween in LA, and they play all the theme songs.
Cool.
It's amazing.
One of the things I want to go to. I've never been able to go to.
Yeah.
Franco, me too. I skipped it last year like a moron.
Yeah.
And now with all this quarantine shit that's going on, the next time that's happening, I'm going. Because I was like, this is like my Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think the three of us should go.
We should all go.
This is my favorite Carpenter. I love all of his scores, but this is my favorite score.
Yeah.
And I'll wait till a specific scene comes up. I'll mention what my favorite track is. But yeah, this score is just awesome.
Off the chain.
Smets would like you to know, P.S. I have seen this movie. It's great. I recall needing a woman with green eyes to lift the curse. Okay. Spoilers, sir. Okay. Spoilers, but
the curse is lifted.
I'm a little tired and a little beat up after Schmobates last night. It was just a few hundred beers and an hour and a half of me yelling at Smets is enough to tire anybody out.
Yeah, I could see that. Also, shout out Dean Cundy real quick. Cinematographer extraordinaire. He did the Back to the Future films as well.
Did he really?
Yeah. Dean Cundy is one of the all-time greats, man.
Dean Cundy worked with like pretty much all of Carpenter's films.
Yep.
He did Halloween. He did Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is great. Yeah, he's great.
This just makes me want to gamble and drink this scene.
Dean Cundy was kind of using the lens flare effect before J.J. Abrams.
Huh.
Kevin Smets wants to wish Tim Franco good luck in the Bond match.
You got a match coming up, Franco?
Wish everyone else good luck.
That's
damn. He said we wish everyone good luck.
Who are you going against, Tim? Who are you going against?
I'm going against Kalinowski, Emma Fife, Brad Gilmore, and I think that's it.
Look who we got in house, by the way. Adam Witt is here, also hanging out with us. The great and powerful Adam Witt.
Yes. Adam Witt would be good in a Bond match. He's a person that would scare me in a Bond match because he's like me. We listen to a lot of James Bonding. James Bonding is a secret.
You guys might be a good tag team. Maybe I can get you a contract signed before the end of this movie.
I think that's a good idea. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I want to talk about real quick about someone mentioned about Kim Cattrall being in this movie. Originally, John Carpenter the studio wanted a big name as the female role, and Carpenter went with Cattrall. and there was like a lot of pushback because before this she was known, and she kind of still is known as like comedic actress because she was in Police Academy and Porky's.
Right.
But she actually
Blind Date was she? Oh no, it was Kim Basinger.
She really enjoyed this role though, because kind of the Gracie Law character is kind of like not your typical kind of like female role. She's got like her own voice, and she's, you know, especially for a film made in the 80s, she's kind of like more powerful than like you'd expect.
She's almost a female Jack Burton if you read between the lines.
Yeah.
Tim, you have fans. Aaliyah Moore is in the chat right now. Very excited to see you here. And I think Adam Witt said yes to you, Kaiser. I think he wants you to get that rolling.
Okay. I'm working on it. Nothing a double, Jack. Nothing a double.
Hi, Aaliyah. Hi, Dan.
Is this Kurt Russell's best leading man performance as the hero who thinks he's the hero?
This is the best leading performance by anybody in cinema history.
It's up there for me. Harrison Ford in Raiders.
He's number 2.
Okay. I mean, look, we all love Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is one of the all-time greats. That's why the Fast series was so smart to add him into it, because you got to love Kurt Russell, man. Like, there's few people who survived going like child actor all the way to becoming leading action hero of the 80s.
And there's his catchphrase. It's all in the reflexes.
It's all in the reflexes.
It's all in the reflexes.
Oh, I don't have the money here.
You want to know what his character's original name was in the when it was a cowboy movie?
I would love to know.
Wiley Prescott.
Wiley Prescott. What a great name.
Thank God, though. Jack Burton, though.
Jack Burton's much
better. You know what Wiley Prescott always says in times like this.
Yeah, see what I mean, Franco?
Don't name me Wiley Prescott.
See?
I think we can all agree that Jack Burton might be the greatest name of any hero.
I agree.
I'll get one of these going here.
What the hell was that? What are you doing, magic?
That's a little hand signal that they do, remember?
That's right.
Aaliyah Moore says, wait, what day is this? Isn't this normally on Fridays? Normally it is, but our friend Kaiser is so popular. He's so busy. He accidentally double booked himself, so he had to do an extra stream this week. So we went to Thursday for a big trouble. But tomorrow night, as we talked about earlier in the stream, we're going to be stealing the Declaration of Independence tomorrow night, watching National Treasure.
Actually, it is Friday. Don't go to work tomorrow.
I can't see the chat at all, so I don't know who's commenting, but
I'll let you know. Don't worry, Kaiser. I'll keep
hello to anybody who came here to see me. Thank you. I'll send you an autograph.
All right, this is a great question. Adam Witt says 1 to 10. What level is Kurt Russell's John Wayne here?
Well, he's already stated when Carpenter asked how he was going to play the role. Russell said, "I'm going to play it like John Wayne." Yeah. That was his response. So I guess it's a 10. I
mean, I think it's an 11.
Yeah,
we're going to turn this up to 11. It's perfect for this movie, by the way.
What's the name of this gang?
The Lords of Death.
Lords of Death. Good pull, Franco.
That's a good 5-point question, I feel like.
Not like I'm in the Schmodown or anything.
That's a good question, Franco.
So this whole sequence, the airport, the abduction at the airport, that's my favorite track of the soundtrack. It's so good. The synthesizers and it's great. Yeah, Lords of Death.
Lords of Death. Good pull.
Punks from Chinatown.
5-pointer, you think, PJ? Yeah.
I mean, because it's a cult film. That's the reason I say that. Like, not to give away a lot of how I think while I write, but like a movie like this, we all love it, right? But how many of us in the Schmodown, outside of the 3 of us sitting here, probably love this movie as much as we do?
PJ, I'd say that question is akin to what was the name of Bill and Ted's band in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Bill and Ted's a little bit more well known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bill and Ted's got 2 movies. Big Trouble's got 1,
and it's got a movie coming out. So
it's got a movie coming out.
Careful there, PJ. More transparency leads to more questions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey man, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm being honest. I've never been not upfront with Kaiser before. If he's asked me.
Evan, you're like the kid who took acid for the first time, and you're just kind of hanging out with a bunch of seasoned drug addicts. That's what it kind of feels like. I hope you get through it, pal. We're here for you. Drink a lot of water. Eat those stone ground ass crackers you've been eating for the last 8 hours.
You know what, Kaiser?
Are you going to sing the Friends theme song like I asked you, or what? Someone give us $10 to sing to the first person who spends $5-10. This kid will sing you the Friends theme song.
You know what? That's true. I'll do it.
We're going to make sure we get to watch the movie, though, because I don't want him to ruin the movie for people with his singing.
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end for you, because I don't want you to get,
All right,
we like this movie. We'll save it for the credits.
It'd be a great finale.
By the way, Kevin Smets wants us all to know it is the Wild Stallions. So just in case anyone wants to know Bill and Ted's.
Good pull, Smash. Good pull.
Star Drew said it as well. And then Kevin Smets also had Stillwater as the name of the band in Almost Famous. Now he's overcompensating.
Yeah,
I think you should mute him for the next 15 minutes.
Did anyone else know Lords of Death?
Okay, Adam Witt says this.
He would have never nailed Lords of Death. I didn't even know that. It's my favorite movie. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't know it in the moment.
Yeah.
So Adam Witt is saying his John Wayne only goes to 9 here because of the "you're in my book" line in Death Proof is a full 10.
I like when Jack Burton says, "Son of a bitch must pay."
Yeah, that's one of the best lines of the movie.
One of my favorite lines in this movie, it's so like dumb, is the part where he goes into the like brothel and he's like, "Boy, is it raining cats and dogs."
Dogs out there.
I guarantee, by the way, that is where Chris Farley pulls his characters from SNL.
Oh yeah,
from that sequence.
My God,
like,
bro,
it's so perfect.
That's insightful. What's this kid coming out from behind a curtain? What are you doing? Are you in a changing room at J.C. Penney's?
I mean, I'm just saying, when you look at the Matt Foley character, is Matt Foley not that character in that sequence? And you'll see it when you watch it tonight.
PJ,
like, that's 100%. And that's not a dig. That's a beautiful tribute, So
don't hate on my curtain, John, as that's my rehearsing room. That's where I have to get ready, get the vocal pipes ready to sing the Friends theme song, get my hands warm. Don't judge.
Take you to a Great Dead concert when this shitstorm lifts.
I want to shout out David B, who subscribed to our channel tonight. David B Music, who does the music for the Schmodown, subscribed tonight. Thank you, David B, for the continued support.
Here we go, Egg Shen.
I love Egg Shen, man. Like, Egg Shen's just one of the all-time great
sidekicks.
Here's the thing about this movie. You are asked to suspend a lot of disbelief, and believe me, that's about to be on full display, but it's a slow burn because that's how Carpenter wanted to play it. This guy and this character really helps you believe in what's happening. It's remarkable. Egg Shen, you're like, I believe anything. If lightning's coming out of his hands, I believe that's real. And I think he really helps establish sort of a sense of believability in this film.
Absolutely.
You know what's funny? This movie was rushed to production because they were worried about Golden Child coming out.
Oh, with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, because
this was 20th answer to that, like how they were going to go to war.
So Golden Child, they offered that to John Carpenter and he turned it down, and then he took this.
I didn't know that.
And then they rushed this because they wanted this to come out before Golden Child, because Golden Child came out in December and this came out in July. And the funny thing about that is the Golden Child. What's his name is in Golden Child? Victor Wong, who plays Egg Shen, right. and then James Hong, who plays Lo Pan, is also in Golden Child.
Right. Those guys were busy for about a 4-year block in the 80s.
Well, James Hong is like one of the most prolific actors around. He's got like over 400 credits. He's in like everything.
Well, I mean, when I hadn't announced this yet, because I like to do teases for the big announcements, and I had used a GIF from Kung Fu Panda of all things because of exactly your point. He's in literally everything. I mean, he's in arguably one of the most famous episodes of Seinfeld that ever existed.
Oh shit, that's right.
Wasn't he in How I Met Your Mother too, or no?
He might have been.
At some point, maybe.
Franco, only you. Wasn't he in episode 322 of How You Met Your Mother? The big divorce. He comes in about minute 11. Kid's just a freak.
That he is, man. But that's why
Franco is a talented, just a freaky, talented Schmodown player.
There's James Hong.
I don't think James Hong was in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
I'm pretty sure he's in just about everything. And this whole sequence reminds me of the 60s martial arts films and the 70s martial arts films with like Bruce Lee. Like it's a very clear influence that I like very, very much.
Almost feels like a Scorsese scene or Coppola.
Yeah, a little bit of both, right? Because I mean, what is like even if you look at Enter the Dragon or Game of Death or any of those like any of those Bruce Lee movies, and then of course we've got our famous character actor from Die Hard in almost every martial arts film who just pops up right there.
What's his name again? You know his name?
Al Leong.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a stunt coordinator or some shit?
I believe so. Yes, I think he worked with Jackie Chan for a little while, actually.
Yeah, he's in Die Hard. He's in Last Action Hero. He's in everything. He's also.
I'm also going to shout out real quick. Adam Witt just subscribed to the channel as well tonight. Adam Witt's getting a shout out for joining us on our watch along mayhem as well as the other shows.
He gave you $5. He put a couple bucks in your pocket.
No, he might down the line if he decides to. We could shake him down for it later.
Witt, go into the safe, pull out a couple 20s for PJ, send it to him from the Venmo. Give him $40-50.
I mean, I like where Kaiser's head's at. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
Witt knows the combination to the safe. He can get the money if he wants it.
You guys are putting too much pressure on Adam Witt. Let him watch Big Show and Little Janisch with us.
I think I speak for Adam Witt here, not you.
You guys pulling out the guns. I love it.
This was loosely based on, it was called the Tong Wars, I believe, that was going down around this late 1800s. The Tong Wars in San Francisco.
Real quick, shouting out Cam Shaft, Kaiser, PJ, Adam, Smets, everyone. She's all excited. We're all here together.
Hi, Cammy. How are you, darling? Oh, man, this guy's got a butcher knife. The other guy's got a 2x4.
Oh, etc.
Adam Witt says nobody was taking influence from Asian cinema at the time and went for a decade after this. And now Tim Sim is going Kung Fu and guns? He seems a little confused.
He hasn't seen shit yet.
No, he has not.
I love how Kurt Russell is holding a knife. Like, that's going to help him right now.
Right. Well, he's the most. He has no self-awareness, his character. That's why he's beautiful.
Let's just say he does something with a knife later on in the movie. I won't spoil anything. And I used to reenact that scene a lot as a kid.
Adam Witt wants to know, Kaiser, why didn't you speak up for me during the Star Wars match?
What Star Wars match? Oh, the one against the plumber.
Yeah. The one against Mario.
I spoke up for him. I said a lot.
You did, to be fair.
Carpenter's like, we're going to make it real simple for you guys. There's a yellow team and the red team.
Yeah, that was definitely John Carpenter going, I just want you to know who's who very simply.
Or else it just looks like 200 people killing each other.
What a great sequence, by the way. And it just goes to show, like, I know that quick cuts and edits and shaky cam is all the rage right now in Hollywood. It has been since the Bourne films. But isn't there something so simple about actually being able to see the stuff going on, like right there where he broke that dude's arm? Like, I can see every movement. And that's Carpenter he got it then, he gets it now.
No, that's practical filmmaking, all in camera, no bullshit. No
right,
facts. It's all practical. Look at Halloween. I mean,
Halloween is still terrifying.
Yep.
Halloween's incredible.
Because it's not fake. You could see this dude creeping around your backyard. You know what I mean? Carpenter has a way of just making you believe the unbelievable better than anybody in his era.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that was it, Franco. We were doing it wrong.
I was doing it wrong. It's this. Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
You just got to give them all the credit for what they put on here. And then there it is. The practical effects.
Here comes my namesake on the stream. As you can see, I'm Thunder.
Look at that,
man. Oh, wait, it's Thunder, Rain, and what's the other one, Franco?
It's Thunder, Rain, and
for 3-pointers.
Lightning?
Yep.
Is it Lightning?
Yep. It's Thunder, Rain, and Lightning.
Adam
no, wait a minute. I'm wrong. What is it, PJ?
Or is it Win?
Adam Witt, real quick, just says it's the guy who stole the Snickers in Die Hard, who we were talking about.
You know what, yes, Franco? Yes, I just remembered. It's Thunder, Lightning, and Rain.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Also, clearly the influence on Mortal Kombat.
That's a 3-pointer.
Oh, yeah. 3-pointer.
He influenced Raiden, obviously, and then Lo Pan influenced Shang Tsung. And that's like...
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, and there's a lot of debate on whether people should have sued them over it. Like, it's so obvious. Even the look is very obviously inspired.
Could you imagine this is 1986 this came out?
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is just fucking groundbreaking.
And it's crazy that it bombed when you think about it, but how many groundbreaking films bomb on the outset only to become hits later because of their long run on
remember, this
home
is
video.
Like the era. This is the era of like the guiding light and romancing the stone and shit. That's what people wanted.
Of course, and
this was a little outside of their wheelhouse. Like Evan said, it's a midnight movie. He could tell that from the drop.
And it's interesting too because they were they pushed this out to beat The Golden Child, but The Golden Child was actually a box office success. But that's because that's prime Eddie Murphy. I mean, Eddie Murphy was the draw for that.
Now, Evan, try and stay with us. You took a little bit of the purple acid. That's the stuff that really hits you fast. So you just want to just make sure you breathe, okay?
Wait till we drink some of that juice out of Egg's 6 Demon bag.
Look at this shit. This
Look at who decided to join with us, Megan Sanborn in-house.
The lovely and beautiful Megan
Sanborn.
Sanborn.
Megan, who we love, who does so much great behind-the-scenes work for the Schmodown that goes unrecognized.
She's the godfather of the Schmodown. Nobody knows her name, but she pulls all the strings. Look at this.
I'm pretty sure I saw her running around in Atlanta faster than anyone else.
What was that, Evan?
I'm pretty sure I saw her running around in Atlanta faster than anyone else.
You 100% did. That's what she does, man.
Well, the woman can literally be in 3 places at one time. That's her magic trick. Like these guys can float and shoot lightning out of their ass. She can be in 6 places at the same time.
It's 100% true. I've been graced to work with Megan the last year and a half on the show, and I don't think I can. I speak for all of us here. We're very lucky to have her, man.
We are. Almost as lucky as a Schmodown is to have me. Same with her.
I agree. I 100% agree. You know that I agree with that.
Because the ratings were in the shitter till I got here.
I mean, I also want to say I think we're lucky to have me, but I'm not going to pump myself up like that.
I think we're lucky to have all 3 of us, to be honest with you. Evan,
I agree.
Someday, maybe they'll be lucky to have you. If you study up, if you take the Smashers course on how to be an IG superstar for $19.99, how to be a Smasher, I'll send you the kit, the home starter dungeon kit. Change your life. And maybe you could be a legend like Franco someday.
Unpaid intern.
I'm just saying. You're amongst greatness. You're amongst greatness, kid.
Unpaid intern, Kaiser. How about that?
Sure, we could always use free help.
Exactly. My point.
I'm going to have to start putting together some movie nights for the dungeon, I feel like, just to try to get everyone on track. And I'll do it with Kaiser. Like, we're just going to make sure they're good to go. Am I playing too hard to one side? I don't know.
You really are.
A little late, but I do want to shout out Adam Witt's funny joke. He said, and obviously Fire and Rain were an influence on James Taylor.
Yeah, right here. This one right here. That's good. That's good.
Hey, great song. Great song.
Adam Witt likes the line, like how these guys can fire lightning out of their ass.
It's a talent. It's a real talent.
It really is.
Especially if you work in Vegas. It's a big act.
Man, I just want some Chinese food right now. That sounds so good. I miss
that
Chinese food. That
doesn't shock anybody.
I know, man. Hey, man, you gotta give me credit though. I've lost a lot of weight during quarantine and just before quarantine,
thin, bro.
Thank you, man. I lost a ton of weight. I mean, outside of the divorce weight, I lost some other weight too.
Do you remember what I said to you last week in the chat? I said, were you what did I say? Like, did Pixar Animation base all of their characters off of you? I forget the joke.
That was pretty. You were like, are you the original Pixar character? And I think you're not wrong. I appreciate you looking out like that, man.
Character.
I appreciate you looking out like that.
So, like, the only stuff really that made it from the original script in this movie is like the pretty much like the backstory for Lopan.
The fiance part, right?
Lopan as a character.
Yeah, and the chase for the girl that was in the Western script. Yeah,
I do gotta say, hair and makeup has improved massively over time.
That might
be
the
hair and makeup right now looks like it came straight out of the stage show.
The gentleman that's on screen right now, I think he might have been in a Police Story. Because I just rewatched the Police Story films. He looks very similar to one of the actors in that as well.
I think Evan's eating weed brownies behind that curtain.
He made some last night without us.
Speaking of Police
Story, put them fuckers in the mail.
I know we're at them, but not yet.
What were you going to say, Tim? I'm sorry.
Speaking of Police Story, they originally offered, I believe, the role of Wing Chi to Jackie Chan, but he wanted to focus on making his films in Hong Kong.
Understandably, because at the time his Hong Kong films
was kind of like going big at that point.
Right, and that's what I was going to say is his Hong Kong films were huge around this time. I've been doing a deep dive back into his filmography because Jackie Chan, for those who don't know, he's one of my all-time favorite actors and one of my all-time favorite action heroes, if you will.
Is he director too? Does he direct?
He is. Films? He directed a good portion of his own films,
and he's like Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, exactly. He was trying to do the Charlie Chaplin for martial arts, and it shows. Like, he has done some incredible work. If you have not seen his 80s work and some of even his like early 90s stuff. You need to, because he is one of the all-time great actors.
What's the Drunken Master? What year was that?
94, I believe, or 93. Let me look. I could tell you, but Legend of Drunken Master is one of those that I'm talking about. 94.
Yeah, I just stumped the stump. I just stumped the master.
94. I wish that we could have more martial arts films in the Schmodown. I'll tell you guys that. I wish, but the foreign films.
We can do that one someday.
We could do Enter the Dragon. We might be able to get away with some of those early Bruce Lee ones kind of period because they all had American releases that were theatrical.
Enter the Dragon. That's the one.
That's the one. Game of Death, of course, obviously. People
love Chuck Norris?
Game of Death is my favorite. Actually.
That's your number one, Franco?
Yeah, I love Game of Death. It's just got a lot of stuff behind it, obviously, because I
love how Jack Burton's acting like the most macho dude in the world, and he's walking around in a female's bathrobe.
Right.
So that's what he does.
Through this low pan I ran over. Through.
What does he say? Like, a dream.
That's an exaggeration, Jack.
I just love this whole sequence, man. Like, this is something that a lot of filmmakers haven't figured out is exposition dumps and like telling audiences the information that they need. Carpenter always knew it. He always had the very interesting side characters being the ones who brought to life the information you needed in the right way.
But he does it in a fun way, and he makes those scenes work so they don't feel like exposition.
Well, that's why we like Donald Pleasance so much, right? Like, when you look at the Halloween films, that was why he continued to be such a presence, because information jumps.
I never thought about it like that.
Like, that character, man.
Yeah, but Sam Lewis...
Exposition... Oh, my bad. Exposition doesn't feel like
exposition. Franco?
Cats and Dogs.
Oh, there it is. And what were you going to say, Evan?
I was about to say, exposition doesn't feel like exposition if your characters are interesting. If your characters are uninteresting, then it feels like exposition. But if your characters are interesting, then it just feels like a conversation that they're having about whatever is going on. And you're engaged because...
Would you read a Sid Feld book this morning? Would you read Save the Cat before the show? That's very astute, by the way. I'm giving you props.
Thanks.
No, it's true, though, and Evan's right, and I think that's what Carpenter always understood more than a lot of filmmakers, especially around now, is that all his characters were at least interesting. Even if you didn't really know them, they were characters,
you know?
Yeah, so there's something to be said about his work at this time. If you look at They Live, if you look at The Thing, if you look at Big Trouble, if you look at Halloween, it didn't matter which movie he was making at the time. Every one of them had interesting characters, no matter what, being the ones that took you through the story to make sure you knew what was happening.
How about the B characters in The Thing? Like, everybody's got a stake in that movie.
Exactly. And Keith David is the one in that movie, man.
Oh, yeah. He's special. Boy, it's really raining cats and dogs out there.
Again, clearly the Matt Foley. This is Matt Foley as a character.
Is ridiculous, bro.
This is gonna sound really weird, but like on that same conversation where we have like B characters that are super interesting, and I would even say a film that's kind of in this tone almost. Ready or Not from last year,
totally.
the pseudo horror movie, which
I never saw that, man. I'm gonna write it down.
Ready or Not was one of my favorite movies last year. It's so good.
It's so entertaining.
I'm gonna write it down.
Here's what I'll say, and this says a lot, is that they came out like with Ready or Not. Ready or Not was the big kind of horror thriller last year. Those guys made that movie and now are rebooting Scream. So that like those guys did well enough that they were like, you know what, we think you can do Scream. And Scream is maybe the most John Carpenter-esque horror film outside of what John Carpenter was already doing. So,
and those guys have a good track record even before Ready or Not, because Radio Silence, that's what they're known as.
Right.
They did one of the segments on the very first VHS movie. They did the haunted house like bit, which is like, I think it's called 10/31/98, where the people go on Halloween night and they end up in a haunted house, and it's like all the shits are happening. That segment's so good. It's one of the best segments.
What's the name of these dudes? Who's the director?
They're known as like Radio Silence. I don't know their actual. I can't remember their names.
Okay.
They're like a group.
I'm gonna get into them.
I think you'd like them a lot, Kaiser. They're right up your alley.
PJ, I sent you my script. You got to read it.
I'm going to either tomorrow or Saturday. I'm setting time aside to actually sit down with it.
You're gonna fucking love it. It's basically, I told you, it's my love letter to Carpenter.
Well, that's why I'm so excited to read it, because you and I love Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love that shot, by the way. Just, it's so simple, and you can tell it's a soundstage, and yet it's so cool, and it's
Right.
also frightening.
How badass are the costumes in this fucking movie?
I know, man. Literally, looking at it, it's just so ridiculous just how great it is.
I think the
He's
hats
like,
make
fuck. That look back when he realizes, like, oh shit, this ain't working.
What were you going to say, Evan?
I was saying the hats that they have really make for a really interesting use of lighting because it shows a really dark exposition, yet you can see the expression on their faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, to me, makes it terrifying, which is what I like, because you can't see their eyes.
Dude, this almost has like a universal horror feel at moments of this movie.
Totally. And the Universal monster movies go very overlooked these days, unfortunately, because they're not stereotypical horror in the way we know.
I argued on Schmobates yesterday that the IGG should put that on a slice. Universal monster movies.
You and I are on the same page, Kaiser.
Snuts went for sci-fi. I was a little broad. I thought it was a little broad.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that the Universal monster movies are very not broad, actually. But
No, I'm saying he had sci-fi, which I think is broad.
Oh, right, 100%. Whereas Universal monster movies, much more reined in.
But the Dickie Doo fans voted in his favor because they're Dickie Doos.
With sci-fi, you can get stuff like 2001: A Space Odyssey, and that doesn't belong in Interdictum.
But Universal monsters, where people were making models and dressing up as those characters forever, of course.
PJ, there's easily, 60, 70 movies you could write questions about?
Easily. Mike K says his favorite types of exposition are the ones where characters are telling a story. Then you'll love the John Carpenter movies, Mike K, because that's what these movies are.
Also, I did this bench, so I'm really biased, but that's what Pixar does really well. To Michael K's point, is like I at least half the Pixar movies start with some type of exposition where characters are telling a story.
Yes,
and
100%.
I can notice that trend, and I was fine with it because whenever you have Patton Oswalt or someone like that narrating for the first 2 minutes, you're okay with it because it's Patton Oswalt.
You're not wrong at all. And also, I just want to say real quick in that point, because I know you're talking about Ratatouille, we want to express our condolences for, Brian Dennehy, who passed away today.
Oh, we lost Dennehy, huh?
We lost Brian Dennehy today. Brian Dennehy, one of the all-time great character actors. I just want to pour one out for you tonight, sir. Thank you for all the amazing memories that you gave us.
Rambo.
Tommy
Boy's dad.
Yeah, Silverado, which is one of the most underrated Westerns of all time.
Kevin Kline. Danny Glover.
Yep.
Costner.
Yep.
I thought of a movie today, a Brian Denny movie that I hadn't thought of in a long time, but it's called Never Cry Wolf.
Ooh,
I
that's
know
a
that one. What's that movie?
It's like a drama about a guy who goes to live in the wilderness and to watch over to learn and study these wolves.
I just wrote it down. I'll check it out.
Also, to Silverado's point, we also need to talk about Scott Glenn. Scott Glenn is the lead of that film, and it's not.
Glenn, that's right.
Scott Glenn doesn't get to lead a lot of films. Lawrence Kasdan wrote and directed it. Great movie if you guys have never seen it.
Scott Glenn was in The Right Stuff.
Oh, right here. Tim Sim gets what we're talking about, Kaiser. This is quick, well-executed exposition, period. I agree.
And you got cool people delivering the message. So for those of you who haven't stopped listening to me talk for the last half hour, they're looking for the little guy's fiance who got hijacked by a mystic Chinese gangster.
That was the lady we saw get kidnapped at the beginning.
That's my play-by-play.
Movie fanboy is in the house. He said he wanted to come say hi. Was helping Kaiser's dungeon mate Drew with some tech assistance earlier. So, shout out movie fanboy for making sure that the dungeon's running well. We like to see that.
And we also got contribution.
And Miss Movies is in the house. We want to shout out Brianne Chandler.
I'll be on her show tomorrow at 8:30. SD Best Friends.
It's true. We wanted to make sure that Kaiser could be on there. I was not about to take him away from Brianne.
I totally forgot. You know me. I say yes to everything.
Hey, man. I was happy to have you regardless. I'll always work around your schedule.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
This is interesting and important information right here. And again, we would just want to shout out Victor Wong, one of the all-time great character actors.
People dragging.
If I'm going to take anything away from this watch along, it's PJ's love for Asian cinema, and I'm here for it.
Kaiser, he's no longer with us, but I don't want to drag. I drugged the Tremors down with the story of his death. He's got a really bad death story. I'm not gonna drag this one down. Go ahead and read about it if you want, but
I don't want to drag this down.
That's exactly what happened during the Tremors watch along. It was in the chat letting us know what happened to Victor Wong.
That's why the way you guys were talking, I'm like, is this man
was like
dead? Like, what's going on?
Smith's Reddit. He was like, "Is that really how he died?"
I knew the story. I wasn't going to bring it up, but Tim did on his own. So, we shout out Tim Franco. Stephanie Begg in house. Stephanie, we're happy to see you. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us for a little bit.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you? I'll take an order of pot stickers.
I think that's a great call for this movie. And I also want to shout out Evan for giving me love for my love for Asian cinema. Yeah, dude, I grew up watching a lot of martial arts films and stuff like that, man. I cannot not love Asian cinema. Like, I grew up watching a lot of the Hong Kong films, man.
Yeah, I used to watch Kung Fu Theater Sundays after rest WWF.
I mean, I don't know, Kaiser, if you've seen them, but the Ip Man films with Donnie Yen, those are some of my most recent loves. They're just so good.
I've seen those. I've seen the cover.
Yeah,
I was at Blockbuster about 10 years ago.
You need to check out the new ones. The new one, the last one that they just did is the finale because, Ip Man's the guy who trained Bruce Lee. That last one brought me to tears. It's so good.
Wow.
So just
I'm a
throwing that out there.
big Bruce Lee guy.
You need to watch these movies, all 4 of them.
I can't confirm DJ does love these movies. He was yelling in a group chat with no response about them.
That sounds about right for
yeah, that's true. That sounds about right.
Walking around with a Bud Light in his hand, yelling at anybody who's there in front of him.
Shout out. Matt Beer just donated $3 to the chat, said, "Here's some money." Thank you, Matt Beer, for giving us $3. Thank you.
I used to make some content with Matt Beer. We love Matt Beer. Actually,
hold on 1 second.
You getting the pop brownies?
Someone's knocking at the door. I gotta get a package.
Yeah, go for it, my friend. Go.
Bro, he's swimming. Bro, this reminds me of Harry Potter. In the
Goblet. Yeah, I could see that. Goblet of Fire.
Oh, that green screen in the back. Oh no. That green screen, no. Bro, we love torturing movies.
I mean, the Saw movies are popular for a reason. Let's be real.
What's up, Abby? How you doing? Welcome.
Oh, Abby Freeland house. She just was tweeting at me to get off the stream because they want to play Mario Kart. But, we got this going on. I can't.
Wait, she tweeted you?
Yeah, she tweeted at me.
Bro.
Adam Witt wants to thank Movie Fanboy for helping out the dungeon. We like to see it. I love this, by the way. Tim, when you saw this for the first time, what did you think of this scene? I just want to ask you because it's like such a great sequence in the film.
This whole sequence is one of my favorite sequences.
This is sick. Look at the set design. Look at this set design. How beautiful that is.
The set design is great, but I also think Krusty Old Lopan is like one of the most like comedic moments of the movie.
Yeah, 100%.
He's just like this, like,
I know. I'm laughing. He hasn't even opened his mouth yet.
He's just like this, like really hungry, like, thirsty, horny old man.
I love the makeup, though. The makeup is really great. Carpenter's always been good with the makeup thing. Again, physical effect, man. Come on. Like, we all like seeing them de-aging people these days, but come on. Also, you? The way that Burton says that, you? Like he doesn't want to believe it. Shout out Abby Friel saying, what a dream team lineup right now.
Oh, thank you, Abby. Thanks for tuning in, kid. She's the maestro of the fan reaction. Video.
I agree.
That girl's like Sports Center.
She's also one of the best writers I've ever worked with, ever.
Yeah,
in
no,
the show.
talented, funny.
Then there better be some good Bond questions on Monday.
I hope you smoke them, Franco.
You know,
I talk a lot of shit, so I need to.
Kaiser, if you don't sign Franco by the end of quarantine, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm going to be very disappointed.
You should be.
I mean, technically I am signed right now, so
That's what I thought. That's what
Me too.
I'm with the Mercs.
Yeah, I thought you got drafted. Fuck.
I'm a 4th round Roca.
Make it happen, Kaiser.
Oh man, I got to figure out how I can get that kid.
every stream needs a corgi, by the way. Everyone say hi to Mabel. Mabel decided to join us for our Big Trouble watch along.
I could grab mine, but I'll leave him alone. He's a maniac.
You both got corgis?
Let's Piggy Smalls.
Our corgis are actually related to Kaiser. Tim was actually the one who helped me get my corgis.
Piggy Smalls is sleeping. I can't wake him up, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So,
My two big dogs are sleeping, but they're, I got a cat right here.
Cats are good too, man. People love animals on stream.
The pig either does one of two things: eats or sleeps, and that's it. It don't need your affection. It's like a bulldog on steroids from hell.
I can't wait to meet Piggy Smalls when this is all said and done, man.
You will.
I'll tell you what. I can't wait to actually be back in Los Angeles and see everyone, and we're gonna hang out, me and Piggy Smalls.
Yeah, we're gonna get a
Am I flying out to Arizona to be there?
Yeah, of course you are.
Okay, got it. Let me know.
Brienne, if you're talking about my Bond match, I believe the taping is at 6:30 on Monday.
Shout out Abby Friels asking, "Where's the pig?" Kaiser, you're being called out.
Abby, the pig is sleeping, and I don't want to wake it up because the minute I do, I'm gonna have to go into the cupboard and give him snack treats and blueberries and all this shit, and he won't shut his mouth. And I can't watch a movie with the pig snorting up a storm. So Piggy's passed out.
Now she's also asking Kaiser, "I want a teacup pig. Do you recommend?"
No, don't get a fucking pig, Abby. No, we rescued him. Whatever.
That's because you're a good person, Kaiser. People give you a lot of shit, but look, man, you're one of the all-time great people, and you rescue animals on top of it.
Yeah, I won't admit that because I got to keep this record of being an asshole alive and well.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, we're an offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot of the Schmodown community. No one's going to watch us outside of all of us watching Big Trouble together. We're fine.
Miss Movies. I didn't even know Piggy Smalls was a thing until I met Piggy. Yeah. Miss Movies and Smalls go back because Miss Movies lives more or less around the corner from me. So, she can drop off, chocolate mint treats and stuff for me because she's a good friend. And,
we all love Miss Movies here. Let's be real.
Well, she's the GM of the dungeon. She runs the front
I believe
office.
that.
I gotta say, no, but in all fairness, the show, to Brienne, was like she supported like the fan leagues or like all the fan channels before they were even popular. So she understood community before anyone else did.
And she picks good songs.
And she also was the person who created the Patreon. We need to
make
sure that she gets the credit she deserves, man. Like, she's a big part of why the Schmodown continues to be what the Schmodown is. And we love Miss Movies around here.
Yeah, Abby says, "Oh, my God, they are." Listen, unless you have a backyard, don't get a pig. Have a backyard. Luckily, I've got a sand pit, right? So I got this sand pit that it's like a giant litter box in the corner of my backyard, and that's why it works. If I didn't have the right setup in a backyard, pig would not work.
That's why I'm able to have two corgis even, because I have a backyard. You got to have that space.
Backyard, Abby, I guess. Think about it. Franco, do you know where they shot this movie? Is this actually San Francisco?
So the exterior shots of like San Francisco Chinatown were shot there. The rest of it were just built on sets on the Fox lot.
Oh, fucking hell. That makes sense.
By the way, if you've never been to the Fox lot, it's so fun to walk around there. They've got brilliant murals of movies.
That's low-key my favorite one. Right? I've been on them all, but that's my low-key favorite.
I've only been on Warner Brothers, but I've been there twice.
My favorite part in Kaiser, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you might agree. Walking past the Simpsons offices and seeing all the Simpsons characters as shrubbery, pretty great.
That's pretty rad. Abby I'll just get a goldfish and call it a day. See, that's good. That's smart. Smart.
You know, our watch-alongs are not only just informational for people who love these movies, but it's educational for other things. This is why we do this.
I'm just gonna get a goldfish. You talk me out of it.
I mean, look, we do like goldfish.
Oh man, look at that!
Holy shit! What a cute dog!
Where'd you get that dog from? The Empire Strikes Back? What is that?
Tim Sim wants to know what are the odds that they alter the stuff.
And the other one is over there.
That very little, to be honest, because one of the murals is Empire Strikes Back. It's the end sequence where you see Luke and Vader fighting on Bespin. They're never going to change that. The Die Hard one is brilliant. The Simpsons is on Disney Plus. Everyone loves The Simpsons still at Disney. They won't change any of that. They want the Fox lot. They need the backlot space because Walt Disney Studios, a little inside baseball, and Kaiser, you can probably back me up on this. They don't have a lot of backlot space like a lot of the other studios.
No, like Warner Brothers has got massive
right?
backlot space.
Right.
Say again, Evan.
Their backlot space is normally meant for TV too. Like all their fucking Disney shows and stuff. Yeah, they're backlot space.
Yeah, but it's tiny, dude.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Shockingly small.
Shockingly small. They have
Sony's not that big either.
Yeah, they have more sound stages than they do backlot space, if you will.
Warner Brothers goes on for days, man.
Under the abilities here.
Yeah, here's how we start seeing even more of that supernatural side. This is one of my favorite sequences in the movie.
I love Thunder's my favorite of the Storm. That's why my name's Thunder.
Yeah, they're all pretty dope.
Especially at the very end of the movie. Thunder's at the end of the movie is one of my favorite things of the movie.
This whole sequence feels like they shot it like pushing him upwards instead of backwards.
Oh,
but also so great. This right here.
Dude, this shit was my favorite. When I was a kid, I'm like, holy fuck. Like I felt like I was going over it.
It's funny too, because watch when he manages to escape, you can see that he clearly pushes the wheelchair back into the water. Like he was fine. Right. It was out, but he pushes it back in.
Miss Movies has to leave us real quick, so we just want to say goodbye to Brienne. Brienne, thank you for stopping by.
Bye, Brienne.
Thank you to have you.
Brienne, bring me a quick Shamrock Shake before you go to bed, if you don't mind, if you're in the neighborhood.
I love that. I really don't think there's a better character who thinks he's the hero of his own movie than Jack Burton.
What's that again, PJ?
I don't think there's a better character in all of cinema history who thinks he's the hero, but he's really the sidekick.
Absolutely. It is
Jack Burton is the one. Yeah, Jack Burton is the character.
When you talk about character and layers, you cannot touch John McClane and Jack Burton. I just think they are the most multi-layered but natural. To me, they are the greatest two protagonists in movie history for me.
Are you speaking about like action movies specifically?
No, just period.
I'm saying all time. They're my two favorite characters personally. Now,
yeah,
I'm not here to argue the AFI's top 100. They didn't even put fucking Back to the Future in it. Now, I think 2001 is like the most brilliant movie I've ever seen in my life. Totally. You know what I mean? But that said, these are the movies I want to make, right? You know what I mean? I've always been fascinated by monsters, kung fu, like action, comedy. Like this is what speaks to me. Totally. And no movie I've ever seen in my life has combined all the elements of what I love in a good story and in cinema, like Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. Honestly, it's like kung fu, King Kong, comedy. It's all these amazing things, and it's natural and beautiful.
I think Adam Witt knocks it out of the park right here. Who can beat Carpenter's run of the great movies one after another? Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, Starman, and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, Starman got nominated for Academy Award, didn't it?
Also, yeah, for Best Actor.
I feel like it kept going because Prince of Darkness is really good. He did that after this, and then he did They Live right after that. So.
And don't forget, like, Escape from LA is actually way more topical now than it was when it came out. Like, Escape from LA as a sequel has grown in time because of what we've become as a society.
And the movie hasn't gotten any better, but you're right. It resonates more, but it's not a good film.
Yeah, Michael K was wondering, do you think Jack Burton created the template for the MCU? And like I can't speak too much on Jack Burton, but like on the ideal of John McClane and characters like those. Definitely, you could argue yes, especially in the world of Tony Stark, where it's that self-arrogance or that over-cockiness that kind of drives them forward.
Mhm.
I'm going to let Kaiser speak to this because I think Kaiser will 100% get. I agree, but let's go ahead and go to Kaiser.
No, what I'm saying is this, and this is probably why these two films So Deadpool and the first Guardians of the Galaxy to me are my two favorite Marvel movies of all time because they both have protagonists that are very similar to this.
Right.
They're both fast talking, shit talking, big dick swagger dudes. You know what I mean? They kind of have shortcomings that get them in trouble. I relate more to a protagonist like this. I don't need to see Arnold Schwarzenegger dropping one-liners and wiping out 38 guys with a wave of bullets. Like, there's no challenge. You know what I mean? Like, those movies are. I get they served a purpose in the 80s, but you know, it's tough because I don't think you see a lot of protagonists, you know, like that. You know, I mean, Tom Cruise in Top Gun is kind of like that. I'd say he's very similar. One of my favorite movies and favorite characters. So.
Tom Cruise.
When they have character flaws and those are on display more than their heroics and bravado, like that to me makes for a better character.
I 100% agree with everything you just said. I think that's why I like so many of Tom Cruise's characters because I think that he also plays into the same aspect of they have to be at least flawed. Like the perfect.
I'm gonna put myself to sleep answering that last question.
Franco, what do you think?
Sorry, what are we talking about?
See? Decent point.
Do you think that Big Trouble had any influence over the MCU overall?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you got this guy who's. I mean, I don't think super directly, but I mean, I think just as like an archetype did.
Right.
I just think that it's
trying to think in the MCU, other than what Kaiser mentioned with like Star-Lord, I don't know if there's anyone that really fits into that mold, like as being like
Deadpool. Those are the two.
Well, Deadpool, yeah, but I'm thinking specifically of like the MCU because I guess Deadpool kind of is in the MCU now.
Oh, I got you.
But like Star-Lord is like this like fast talking, like you said, he's like a flawed character. He's kind of bumbling. He's not the most like on his like team of people, he's not the most reliable person.
He's not self-aware.
So like, I feel like he'd be the closest person to that mold. And I wouldn't be surprised if like Chris Pratt like took some influence from that as well.
I would even argue Thor, like the early versions of Thor before he became the king of Asgard, is kind of cocky in the same way, personally speaking.
Yeah, and I think the Thor movie, the first Thor movie, kind of like the movie itself kind of like creates that character because the movie's a fish out of water story. So you got this guy who's not, you know, he's in a world where he's not familiar with, so he comes across as kind of bumbling and kind of silly because he's not familiar with things, and that's very similar to this as well.
So I think we've just discovered that without Big Trouble in Little China, the MCU does not exist.
This is a classic fish out of water story. You know, this is not the world Jack Burton is used to. He's used to drinking, gambling, talking shit on his, you know, CB and going from town to town. And now he's in over his head. He thinks he's got all the answers and he doesn't, obviously.
And he talks about it all the time, which I love too. Like he makes no mistake that he's not comfortable with this situation.
No.
He's the skeptic. He doesn't want to believe in like.
He just wants to get his truck back, Tim.
Yep.
He's Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, you guys, because that's what Indy is in Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is a prequel. He is not interested in anything other than fortune and glory.
I love Temple of Doom.
Hey, Evan, can you pull me out a size 12 from the back room? Moccasins? Let me try those on.
I can't. I can pour you a drink next time.
What, do you got a little bar back there, you sneak?
He does.
I don't know, man. We do what we can.
I like this kid more and more as we go along.
I think you should draft him to the dungeon just as like someone to help behind the scenes.
This little lunatic would definitely fit in the dungeon.
I can see Evan
great consultant, as you can call it.
Go down with like a clipboard, like making sure. You know.
As soon as I get this Franco deal ironed out, then I'll deal with you.
But maybe I can help with the Franco deal. You don't know that. You don't know. You know I'm capable of. You don't
Franco,
know who
I got
I am.
an idea. What you should do is you
Evan
retire.
good beer, maybe, you know.
Franco, you retire tomorrow. and then I pick you up on Saturday.
I can't retire tomorrow. I got to get this bond match over with first, I guess.
That's an exhibition. It doesn't count. You still can. You could retire and still play in that match, brother. As your potentially new manager, that would fly.
Retire and then be like, I don't know, I changed my mind.
See?
But you have to consider the politics of it all, right, man?
Friday. Today's Monday. I feel differently.
You can ask Karloff. I'm like, where the fuck is Franco? What's he doing? I want to draft him. Oh, I thought it'd be cool to draft you or Stacy. I low key. I was like, I got to get someone from Corruption in the dungeon just for the story of it. I like you two the most. And I'd never have a shot at Kalinowski, obviously, and that was just stupid for a story. But I get one of you two, like that'd be some shit.
I still think we make it happen after tonight. I think that we're going to see that Christian tunes into this and realizes that Tim really belongs in the dungeon.
Look at Adam Witt says Dean Cundy also shot DC Cab. Look at Witt just goes deep.
He does, man.
Deep.
We like Adam Witt here, man.
Deep. That's a Gary Busey film. Rest in peace. Wait, is he alive still?
No, he's still alive. I was
getting Dennehy and the other guy.
I guess you can call it alive.
I was getting Dennehy and Busey confused for a minute.
And I mean, look, we all know that Busey's son is just the next version of him.
Jake.
That's why he was in The Predator, and he played the son of his character from Predator 2.
You know, seen the new Predator.
I brought down the
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. If you like Predator, it's going to make you sad.
That's Brody.
I brought down the chat, the Trimmers chat, when I talked about Victor Wong's death. I don't mean to bring down the chat right now. but yes, Gary Busey is alive.
That is the saddest news we've heard.
That is fucking hysterical. You know, I'm sorry to report Gary Busey's alive.
Actually, I think Gary Busey's over on Mark Riley's channel right now. If you guys have been paying attention.
Are we going against him right now? Has he got a show going?
I think so. He has Christian Harloff over there right now, so we're just going to say Gary Busey's over on the channel right now.
Well, if we're up against Riley and Harloff, I guess that's where everybody is. But you know, let's face facts. If you want to watch two crusty old bastards, go watch that show. If you want to watch the cool kids hanging out watching kung fu monster movies, watch Kaiser, this kid Evan finish off his acid trip.
I'll say this: we've had close to 20 people watching at all times tonight. People care about what we think about Big Trouble in Little China.
I know they do, and if they don't, fuck them. The four of us will have fun.
Exactly.
All right. So you guys want to know?
Anyone needs any recommendations? I will say vanilla rum and Coke. Kind of go.
Kaiser shaking his head at
no. What do you say drinking?
Vanilla Coke.
I think he just quoted a Justin Bieber lyric or something.
No, vanilla rum and Coke.
Oh, I thought you said Malibu rum.
No. Those aren't for like frozen drinks.
You don't know how bad Franco wants to put you in a reverse chokehold right now.
I know. Oh, I know.
Look at this thing.
Look,
now the movie has totally changed, right, Franco?
Yeah, you want a funny fact? So this orangutan monster thing, the guy that played this character, he was a Vietnam vet and he lost his arm and both legs in battle.
Get the fuck out of here.
He plays. If anyone has seen Poltergeist 2,
yep.
There's the part where Craig T. Nelson vomits up like the worm, and it's like
that.
He plays that little thing that crawls around.
Terrifying.
And then he also played Freddy Krueger briefly in The Dream Child. There's like a sequence where he played Freddy as well.
If you guys haven't, Poltergeist 2, great movie. You need to watch. Are
you trying to tell me, Franco, this man has no legs that's playing the character?
Yeah, I believe he lost his both legs and an arm in Vietnam.
Also, I just want to shout out real quick. Tim Sim, who's saying, lol, we're giving Harloff and Zflirten Flaus ideas. Adam Witt bringing up the fact that DC Cab was directed by the Batman and Robin director, and Star saying, no way, I'm sorry, Riley. He's here instead.
Let's go. Shout out to Star Drew. But also, I gotta say that orangutan looking guy looks like the guy that looks like someone that you would find from that King Kong ride in Universal.
Yeah, he looks like the thing in Street Fighter. Don't he?
He does a little bit, yeah.
Again, these movies, that looks just like the Street Fighter thing, that sloth or whatever the fuck that thing is.
Both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat stole from this movie.
Absolutely, they did.
100% they did. Tim Sim, classic Carpenter. Goddamn right, it is classic Carpenter. There's only one Carpenter we like.
Yo, wait for the eyeball monster to show up. That motherfucker cost. They cost him $100,000 to make that. Tim.
Yeah, that was the most. That was the
$100,000.
That was the most complex.
I'm thinking they shot 5 easy pieces for $100,000. You made a fucking eyeball monster.
Because it required like a whole bunch of puppeteers and stuff to make it move and work, and it's all practical.
Jesus.
I think they spent $2 million on special effects for this movie.
Not too much, honestly. Not for what's happened.
No, it was the special effects company said it was far too little, so they made it work with what they could.
Would they make this for 25?
25, I think. Yeah, and I think it made like 11.
Yeah, this movie was financially.
They sold more Jack Burton tank tops than they did fucking tickets to this movie.
I mean,
obviously it's a cult hit now, so I mean, I imagine it's probably profitable at this point. But
absolutely,
I mean, between all the books and stuff that they've done since the comics, I mean, I saw Kaiser was looking at the making of book earlier. I own the same making of book. Yep, Boom Studios did that. They've done.
I got Carpenter's autograph in here,
dude. That is awesome.
He signed over the three
stores.
Can you see it?
Yep, 100%, man. That's amazing.
So I met him when I bought this book. I stood in line, waited to meet him.
Let's go.
I had him sign my forearm. So for a week, I had Carpenter's fucking signature down my forearm. I'll post.
That's the way to do it.
That's
how. At one point, I was with my girl Tracy. I'm like, "Yo, should I go get to the tattoo parlor right now?" She's like, "Fucking do it." I'm like, "I don't have the balls." But I was gonna have like, dude, I'm like, I can't walk around with Carpenter's name on my arm my whole life. That's such a bitch ass move. I'm like, just for 1 week.
I would have paid for you to do it, to be honest.
I mean,
Kaiser.
What's that for Tim?
I was going to ask you if you've seen. There's this. I think it's an anthology horror film, and I don't think it was theatrical release. I believe it was like an HBO film in the '90s.
Body Bags.
Oh yeah, Body Bags. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah,
Body Bags.
Yeah, it's on. It's streaming on Shudder right now, but. It's an anthology horror film, but what's fun about it is I think Carpenter directed 1 or 2 of the segments, but he's also the main star in the movie. He plays he's like an undead mortician. That's like
right above. Look right here.
Yeah,
what is it like Creep Show?
Yeah, it's an anthology horror film.
Oh man, I'm writing it down. I'll check it out.
Guys, I feel like this whole stream we've just been filling Kaiser with information, and at one point he's just gonna soak it up, and then just become the biggest sponge in the world, and that's a good thing.
Well, you really are on drugs right now, aren't you? You listen to yourself? You might need to go behind that curtain and meditate for 5 minutes and come back.
Hey, hold up. If I were on acid, this movie would end up being a totally different experience.
You ain't kidding, kid.
For as far as I know, Kung Fu and supernatural elements with Kurt Russell making himself look like a dickhead is everything I need.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Kaiser and I want out of you. It's what Tim and I want out of you. We want you to enjoy the 1986 classic that is Big Trouble in Little China. I want to hear what
classic.
Like the chat. If the chat is enjoying it, let us know. I will put your comments up on the screen right now.
Franco, I saw it one time on the big screen.
Yeah,
I think it was the Egyptian, maybe.
Oh, I missed the Egyptian, man. Brilliant theater.
I think
I saw Carpenter. I'm sorry, I saw Russell introduce Escape from New York at the Egyptian. And then the next night I saw Big Trouble or something like that. One of the, 2 out of 3 nights or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen this probably like 2 or 3, like definitely 2 times. I think maybe 3 times. It played actually here about 4 months ago, but I actually didn't go see it.
Yeah, you and I talked about it, but we were both busy.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all both live in the same town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you both were Arizona. I didn't know if it was the same town.
Same town, just down the freeway from each other.
2 freaking hooligans stealing cars.
Yep, hitting the bars,
ripping off the mob.
Yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere.
You're in Arizona, Evan?
No, Florida, Tallahassee.
God. Much worse.
God save your soul.
We don't talk about it.
You live in a fucking city where people throw alligators through the drive-through window for sport.
No, not here. That's in Gainesville. I live in the town where John Roker and Christian Harloff made a mess of themselves, for better or worse.
FSU?
Yeah.
Believe me.
Mike
I feel like I got an honorary degree from FSU after knowing all those guys.
Mike
That's
K
fair.
says, I feel ashamed that I'm only seeing this movie now, but I'm loving it. So we've done good tonight, you guys.
Bro, wait till he watches it without my big mouth. He's gonna love it even more.
wait till the like climactic battle at the third act. That's so good.
This movie is just off the fucking chains.
I
Then he
love-
just decided to do some MTV music video shit
Yeah.
for no. It's like all of a sudden it becomes a Madonna video and shit at one point.
Look at Tim Sim. Who knew the craziest Chinese fantasy flick would come from John Carpenter? Exactly.
Yeah, but that's what he does.
Exactly, man.
He's a student of the game. He's been making movies since he was 8 years old.
Also, this movie is written by the guy who directed Buckaroo Banzai. And if you
I mean, seriously, Franco, factor that in.
I love Buckaroo Banzai too. That movie's
Hell
great.
yeah, hell yeah.
Peter Weller. So many people are in that movie. Peter Weller, John Lithgow.
I think those movies only got made because you're coming out of the 70s when the inmates ran the asylum and making whatever the fuck they want. You know, Dennis Hopper was getting money to make movies. Like, they're like, yeah, we're going to do DC Cab and Big Trouble in Little China and fuck. Like, what? Like, sure, go for it, you know? As long as I can do Fletch 2 and make my money for the next 4 movies, we're good.
You know what, man? Fletch doesn't get enough love. That's one we may have to do for the channel is Fletch.
Well,
like, what a great.
that's listen. I could probably recite the movie front to back. So that'll be the one we'll do next.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We'll talk about that later. But Fletch, what a great film! If you guys have never seen Fletch, you might as well wait at this point because now Kaiser and I are gonna watch it with you.
Hey
That's
Pat, if you ever want to do a watch along of my favorite movie, you can call me for that one.
Which is what, Tim Franco?
Yeah, what is it? What is it, Franco?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh my god,
What a great movie!
that tracks
Brand, you
so
know
well
what?
for you
Work
asshole.
that out.
I just want to shout out Tim Sim again. All other Chinese fantasy films from China seem tame compared to this. He's not wrong.
Because the last one
know
that
your
American
favorite
audience
movie?
has seen was that Matt Damon one, which was absolutely atrocious.
Oh yeah, The Great Wall. Not a good.
Yeah.
And I can quote it. I can probably quote the entire movie.
Is that your favorite movie, Franco?
My favorite movie, no joke.
I mean, I'm not hating. I'm literally like that fucking dumbfounds me. Like I feel like you could have gone 100 places. I would have never expected you to go there.
Yeah.
We all.
This is mine.
we love
I mean, it
Timber.
makes sense. This is mine favorite.
I
So
mean, it's just the movie I grew up with, and like
I know.
This is,
Same here.
this is in my top 10. But like
Sure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure is just like I don't know, man. I
It's
still
a
love.
phenomenal fucking film.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a phenomenal movie.
Written by Phil Hartman, man.
Are you
We've
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, man. We stand Phil Hartman here. One shot for that gentleman. We miss Phil Hartman.
Wait a minute.
Okay, wait. Here's the thing. Look at right here. We have Adam Witt, who also loves Fletch. So, you know what? I think
Get Witt in on the
we might have to get Adam Witt on here to do a Fletch
All
watch
right.
along.
word.
That's quite witty of you. Excuse me.
How do I not know that Phil Hartman wrote fucking Pee-wee's Big Adventure? That's
why you're
mind blowing.
manager.
And he's in the
Okay.
movie. He has a small part in the movie, but just a small character role. Cameo.
Fucking kills.
Yeah,
me.
here's that little monster thing. That's a
Yeah,
good.
look at this thing.
This is the most John Carpenter-esque sequence in the whole film.
Totally.
It's to do actual horror, by the way.
Think about it. That thing is so fake looking that it only had to be on screen for an eighth of a fucking second. So you bought that.
I'm gonna say the same thing.
The
Well, 'cause here's the thing. When I saw Tremors for the first time last week too, and this is my first watch of Big Trouble, obviously. I think the same sentiment goes where like I really do appreciate the mix of realistic and CGI practical effects. Sorry, that's what I mean, effects. So practical and CGI effects. I
In
really
camera.
appreciate that a lot more because it makes it seem more real and more frightening to me.
Look at Evil Dead, all in camera.
100%, man.
But for the time and what this represents, and the same thing goes for Tremors, where that practical effects meant so much because it did scare the shit out of people. And, you know, we can throw it back to Jaws. It's really important because audiences at that time didn't know the facts like, oh, this practical effect looks fake. But at the time, it's just like, no, it didn't. This is what's scaring the shit out of me right now. Fuck.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so good. I think practical effects will always trump special effects of CGI because you can feel the realness of it. That's why when you look at Michael Myers or Freddy or Jason, those characters have lasted so long as horror icons because you recognize them. You see that they could follow you around. They feel real.
Bro, that scene in Halloween when you first see when Jamie Lee's walking home from school, right?
And he's behind the hedge.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. That is the most subtly creepiest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Dude, people in this world are like that. Motherfuckers hide in the bushes and shit.
Between that, the sequence where she looks out the window at the school, we may have to do Halloween now too, Kaiser. I'm just throwing that out there. But like,
look, if these fans can cough up $29.99, they can get me for a 3-picture run.
Agreed. I mean, and look at it. Like, there's sequences in that movie that are still terrifying because Carpenter was really like on top of the idea that the realness of things is what's scary. That's why this movie, of all the things that are most terrifying, it's not even the eye monster. It's the stuff going around them. Like, right. That's why it works.
The Halloween theme is my number one of all time.
Oh my God. It's yes, 100%.
I'm a big Black Sabbath fan. Like,
me too.
I say Black Sabbath is my favorite band of all time, right? That's why that fucking theme to Halloween just like sounds like heavy metal to me. Like it,
But PJ, that's also half my point. It's not even the thing that's there, the practical effects. It's all that cares is reactions to it. Because imagine walking through Universal Studios during Halloween Horror Nights. What scares you? The fucking zombie that's there, or some hologram? It's the fucking zombie that's walking towards you and scaring the shit out of you.
Exactly.
So all the actors with wilts, like, you know, they know it's fake. The shit still scares the hell out of you whenever you see some blue monster come out of a wall.
And I got to tell Kaiser this story because I brought it up I brought it up on the PJ Campbell. Oh no, it was on your show, the Evan Degraff's Famous Last Words, where I talked about the one great concert I ever went to, and it's like my one great memory was driving down to San Francisco without a driver's license to go see Ozzy Osbourne live back on the Black Rain tour, just so I could see Ozzy live. And that's
I've never seen Ozzy.
Dude, I saw Ozzy and
he's
saw
my favorite vocalist of all time.
And I saw Dio with Heaven and Hell when they did it at the Black Sabbath reunion before he passed away.
Well, Ozzy was supposed to be coming to the Hollywood Bowl this summer, man, and I was going to be there.
I was planning on trying to go, but you know, here we are.
I don't think we're going to concerts till 2021, pal.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but Kaiser, you know what we're going to do as soon as it happens? We're going together.
I know, but Ozzy's got Alzheimer's.
The eye monster's here, and Evan's not even here.
Oh my God, he's going to miss the $100,000 eye monster.
What a heartbreaking move. Look at this monster.
Isn't this the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life?
It really is.
Anything, John.
This is the most disgusting No, Franco said that, not me.
No.
It reminds me of that creepy underwater fish that you see every once in a while pop up in your timeline. The one that they found in like the deep underwater area.
That's an interesting.
You know what?
Also, guys, to your point about concerts, they're doing online concerts just to get together once all the lockdowns are done. Get sloshed off your minds and do the live stream that they're doing, because a bunch of bands are doing live streams.
Man, that ain't no damn human experience.
That is true. You're not wrong, but you can replicate it.
To touch briefly back on the practical effects conversation, the thing too about like this time period in terms of like we have great practical effects now, but there was like just masters working back then. Like you had Stan Winston, you had Rick Baker, you had Tom Savini, you had Richard Edlund, who did Ghostbusters and Fright Night. I mean, these were just like that's what they like did, and they were killing it in the practical effect game.
Right.
Tom Savini is still one of the all-time greats. Savini doesn't get nearly enough credit for all the work he did back in the day. He's also a fun actor on top of it. So shout out to Tom Savini.
There's a great documentary on Savini that I haven't watched yet, but I've heard it's great on Shudder. I need to watch.
And if you guys have Shudder, also watch Creepshow. Tim and I are big fans of the movies, both movies, and so they did a TV version, and it's great.
Yeah, it's coming to like somewhere else though.
AMC is going to air it.
Yeah.
Also, I got I'm ordering the Blu-ray because it's coming to Blu-ray soon too.
I love this set.
I do too. And this creature is just so fucking horrifying still. And there he is, our Sasquatch. I love that character. What a great creature feature. creation, if you will.
This whole sequence when they're like getting ready, that's the one F-bomb in the movie right there. Fuck it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is when this is like one of the best sequences when they take when they all drink that potion, and then they have the awkward ride in the elevator.
Oh yeah, and the awkward ride in the elevator is one of the all-time great used memes now because they definitely have gifs of Jack Burton in the elevator, which is great. Cheers as well. I will throw that out.
He's like, I feel kind of invincible.
Yeah. And Mike K says, I need to get a Shudder account. Yes, I agree. Tim Sims saying that the little eye monster is a Doom monster. I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah, Shudder's great. I'll just do a quick plug on Shudder because I don't get paid by them or anything, but I love them. And next Friday, they are bringing back The Last Drive-In, which is a show that is hosted by Joe Bob Briggs. He used to host Monster Vision in the 90s. Basically, they show 2 movies, and Joe Bob does little breaks in the movie and gives little commentary and interviews and talks about the movie. And he's great, and it's awesome, and it's going to be great. And this premiere is going to be co-hosted by Chris Jericho, Le Champion.
He's bringing a little bit of bubbly with him, I hope, because we all like Chris Jericho here. I'm a big AEW fan as well. Tim and I have both talked about that quite a bit. We've both been watching AEW since it came back.
That meme. Oh.
What?
That bubbly meme was probably one of my favorite memes for a solid 3 months. I would literally walk around with all my friends going, a little bit of the bubbly.
Well, you know what's funny is the bubbly exists now. Of all things, Stephen Amell's got a wine company, and I order from it. I'm one of the monthly donators or whatever to Stephen Amell's wine company. And the little bit of a bubbly is a wine now, or Chardonnay, if you will, at Stephen Amell's company, Knocking Point. Knocking Point is the wine name.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah, I can definitely send it to you. I'll do it right now while we're sitting here.
I can have someone who's older than me pick it up. Oh my God, this could be amazing.
Dude, Evan, I'll order a couple for us, or you order it and send it to my house, and I'll hold on to it until you get here.
When's Evan coming here?
Evan's supposed to be here very soon, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe July. We're looking at July. If the travel ban's down, July is easy. I'll be safe. I'm not worried.
You're gonna come to Arizona in July?
Why not?
I guess you're from Florida, so you're used to heat and you got humidity.
Yeah.
So
Heat doesn't bother me.
You'll enjoy it because it's dry here.
It's a dry heat, as the kids say.
It's dry, but it's still hot as hell.
But also, while ticket prices are down, why not do a little bit of exploring? You know.
Hey Tim, one thing we need to do, and I know we're talking over everyone as we watch this movie, and it's great, but we need to go up to Tombstone and hit up their brewery. It's been a little bit. Once all this is said and done. There's the eye monster. I gotta say, man, that eye monster effect is really great, by the way. Like, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, the reason it was so expensive and complex is because they had a whole bunch of different puppeteers working on it, making sure that individual pieces move and everything.
That's true. And then here's Jack Burton knocking himself off Bilbo style.
Yep.
Kaiser wants to know where the fuck did Kaiser go? Kaiser sucks. Tim Franco should join the dungeon.
I'm really glad that John Kaiser decided to go to the bathroom right now and chat inside the video. Thank you, Kaiser, for that.
If John Kaiser can hear me, I think Evan Degraff should join the dungeon as a consultant. PJ can vouch for me. I'm a pretty good consultant.
This is where Wang Chi really shines, man. He kicks some ass in this scene.
This is where Wang Chi becomes the hero of the film. Not that he wasn't already, but this is it right here.
Yeah, because Jack has several moments where he kind of bumbles in this fight.
Oh, 100%.
We already saw one, and then he gets that big soldier, that guy in armor, stuck on him.
I didn't like looking at that. I'm really lost on where people say, because I think maybe Jacob said this, that like this film is definitely like it wouldn't work in today's society, but like I haven't seen anything that's like openly like abruptly racist about this film or anything like that.
One of the things that they were approaching is they wanted to make back then they were kind of, in this film they were actually trying to be conscious about like how they were making it. And when I was reading, reading about it, I know that they cut a lot of stuff out that was even in that time considered.
No, let me address this, PJ. I can do fucking calculus, Sean. Don't worry about me in algebra. I can do fucking calculus with my eyes closed. No, I don't need that shit. I can do my calculus. It does look dope as hell, though. I appreciate the music.
I love the again, Carpenter, man.
Yeah, he did. He does pretty much all of his own music. I think the only movie he didn't do music for was The Thing, because he did that was Ennio Morricone. But I just love this fight. Come on, Jack.
Jack is
it feels very Star Wars almost. As weird as that sounds.
Oh, the best part.
I don't like that.
The best part hasn't happened yet, but when Egg Shin and Lopan have their little wizard battle. The wizard battle's great.
Apparently, you're now Little Bieber, Evan. Just so you know, Little Bieber.
Little Bieber, bruh. Since when?
Kaiser, I think
Go ahead.
Kaiser's gonna miss the Rock'em Sock'em wizard battle. Here it comes.
This is 100% the Schwartz right here
Oh, this part's so good. I love it.
for the Spaceballs fans.
Time to play Battle Wizards. This is what I call taking a thumb war to a whole nother level.
Kaiser that has multiple meanings. That's all I have to say. That's crazy. We're watching this, and they were watching fucking National Treasure tomorrow.
I know. What a difference a day makes.
But you could argue they're very similar in tone, where it has that right amount of tongue in cheek, but it still balances out with that right amount of seriousness too.
I mean, this is one of the all-time great adventure films in my mind. And I know Tim agrees. It's just a movie that works on more levels than people really give it credit for. Again, it was a flop when it came out, but it found an audience after the fact. My video store had a poster for this movie up at all times when I was growing up. So this movie influenced me at a young age.
Look, Dickie Doo Sr. is back.
Did you just call him Dickie Doo Sr.? That's just mean.
A good way to get in the dungeon. Not. I heard you broke out your flashcards while I was gone. Is that true?
Maybe not. You don't know. I got a notebook here. I do what I do. I do what I don't.
Prolific.
Thank you.
Obviously, you need a guy like me on the mic if you join the Schmodown.
You got a guy like me too. I can talk.
Attaboy.
There's no one who talks quite like Kaiser, though. Let's be real.
I like Evan's moxie. Thinks he's a tough little shit. We'll see what happens. He
really does.
I like his moxie.
I appreciate it. We do what we can, and we don't do what we can.
Look at these fucking set pieces.
Oh, dude.
We were talking about that earlier. That is so good.
The special effects are just so great.
This movie is fucking beautiful.
Adam Witt wants to know if we caught Marconi's The Thing in Hateful Eight. Yes, I did. His score in that movie is wonderful as well.
What, he used the Thing soundtrack or so? What was
he
that
did.
mean?
He definitely put a little bit of the Thing influence into the score for the Hateful Eight.
What?
Yeah, dude. You got to check it out. It's
I know
worth it.
Morricone did the score. I didn't know that it had Thing elements.
Yeah.
Right? Did Morricone do the score?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Thing.
Is that his first or second Tarantino score?
His first, and he won an Oscar for it.
That was his first Oscar, too, I believe.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't think he'd won one. He'd been nominated, but I don't think he'd won one.
Can you imagine a world where Morricone wins an Academy Award because of Quentin fucking Tarantino? That's poetic justice.
Oh, man. Oh, and they kiss. Look at them go.
Attaboy, Jack. And does he walks around with the lipstick all over his face like an asshole after this?
Yeah, and then he wipes it off because doesn't he see it in the mirror? I think, or no, he doesn't wipe it
There
off.
it is, right here. He's got the lipstick on. See, that's just great, man. That's just being vulnerable, right? Putting it all on the line. Big tough guy with lipstick on and shit.
So this
Bro,
final,
Jack Burton reminds me of the guy that I see at the barbecue. Feels like that he can make the best hamburgers in the world, but ends up making fucking hockey pucks.
His son was a pro hockey player, so that
Oh.
tracks.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Wyatt Russell is actually a very good actor. He's becoming a lot like his dad. I always look forward to seeing him.
PJ, I want Wyatt to play the title character in my movie Hack I sent you.
Well, did you see he's also up? He may be playing Snake Plissken now in the Escape from New York remake.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
See, then I'll get on board with that. When The Rock was trying to remake Big
Big
Trouble, I'm
Trouble.
like, please stay away. Please.
Who?
Go jump off of a building. Go do Earthquake 2.
Yeah, no one wants The Rock to be Kurt Russell. That's my feeling. No offense to him, of course.
No offense. That's not his world.
No, man. Like, he's not Kurt Russell. He's just not.
Now, if you get Wyatt to play Snake Plissken, that's okay with me.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Michael K was saying, if you haven't seen it already, watch Overlord. I've heard really great things coming from
Here you
Ryan
go, Tim. Here's your moment. Wait, Tim was talking about this.
yeah,
Jay?
this is the scene I used to reenact. Goodbye, Mr. Burton. And he kept
This is the most prolific moment in
so
the movie.
good.
Oh, I love this shit.
It's a good knife. Goodbye, Mr. Burton.
Goodbye, Mr. Button.
Like I said, hair and makeup.
Ooh.
Damn, son.
No, and some may say that's like an uneventful death for such a big like villain, but I think it's
Bullshit.
Oh, it's so good. It's so
No,
good. It's
fuck that,
fitting
Tim.
for this movie, man.
especially because Jack's like been such a bumbling idiot through most
Exactly. That's the one like big hero moment. Like that's why that character works. It all boils down to that, man.
And then you have my other favorite moment is Thunder when Thunder goes boom.
Don't ruin it.
So good.
Don't you love how Burton still got lipstick on after killing the baddie?
He wipes it off, takes care of it. I just love how the furniture is just flying everywhere.
It's beautiful. That's like something you'd have shot in your living room when you were 9 years old.
And Thunder's all pissed off. He's like,
This
"Oh,
was very sitcom-esque almost.
they killed my buddy."
This nearly feels like a sitcom.
Say again, Evan.
This nearly feels like a sitcom.
Mm.
The way how the camera's shot and the way
Right.
how they.
It's gonna go crazy. It's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, dude, that's
One more time.
interesting.
Here, it's gonna go crazy one more time. Here it goes. You know what's funny? When he blows up, it looks like lettuce. Watch.
It really does.
Looks like a bunch of lettuce. And like
So they
trash.
went to a Subway to film that.
They
scene.
just went to the craft service table and threw the trash out. They're like, "Here you go. Someone just throw the trash."
I love this shot, by the
Hey
way.
man,
That
we're out
shot
of money.
down,
Just use the trash.
that shot down the hallway with the lightning coming down is just so great
Oh,
on
this
top
shit
of
is
him.
nasty.
Also,
Yeah.
the soundtrack, the tracks from this last like third act of the film. So like the wedding ceremony, the fight, and then this, they're just so good.
Oh, I agree,
I think
100%.
it's like 21 minutes worth of like music, but it's great. It's like I think each track is about 7 minutes, but they're awesome. This soundtrack's not easy to come by. Like if you want a physical copy of it, I think it's out of print.
I think one of the CD companies might have copies of it. Don't quote me on that, but
Here's a special edition one that I know is out of
Yeah.
print. That's 2 discs.
Back in middle school, we had a kid named Mascara Mason. And they called him that because one time I guess he got slapped or something and he started crying and mascara started running down his face. And I guess Jack Burton, not gonna lie, reminds me of Mascara Mason.
I could see that. This whole third act, man, like everything about this third act is so great because Burton gets his one hero moment, but really you still realize how bumbling he's been throughout, and that's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you still never would have got that hero moment if it wasn't for like Egg Shin and Wang Chi and
Right.
and Wang and everyone. So Egg Shin
Sick
and
soundtrack.
Lightning.
Y'all know what becomes before lightning? Or no, y'all know what becomes before thunder? Lightning.
Did Michael K mean to say watch Overboard and he said Overlord on accident?
No, he said Overlord.
No, he should have
Overlord,
said
yeah.
Overboard.
No, he said Overlord.
Well, he should have said Overboard.
Yeah, but
That's a perfect movie. That's a
I
9 out of
agree.
10.
But
Overboard as well.
Overlord has got Wyatt. Kurt's
I don't
son.
know Overlord.
You should have
Overboard?
seen Overlord.
has a great
I've seen
soundtrack.
Overboard 68 times. I've never seen Overlord.
Overboard.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack and great a great Randy Newman song at the very end of that movie that a lot of people don't know about called Something Special. It's great.
Adam Witt knows where to find the soundtrack on vinyl.
Which, if you ask me, this style of film is what J.J.
Oh,
Abrams
you
would have
can,
produced.
you can find the vinyl pretty easily, for sure.
I'll say this: J.J. Abrams, his whole filmography is clearly inspired by everything Carpenter did as a filmmaker.
That's bold, PJ. It's a bold statement.
I mean, if you look at
though.
if
Like,
you look
this
at literally, yeah,
Scream J.J.
Underneath.
You mean original films he's made or franchise? You're talking non-franchise?
yeah, before the franchises. Like, look at Overlord,
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
If you look at Joyride, which he wrote, Armageddon,
Dude,
which
even
he wrote.
Force Awakens, I'll stand by it. The lens flares, some of the shots that he does are very close up and very personal. It feels very JJ-esque. I stand by it.
Interesting.
John Mariano says that Kaiser needs to watch Overlord. He would dig it. Mike K now responding saying, Kaiser, Overboard is great too, but I'm talking about Wyatt Russell's World War II horror film, in case you weren't sure.
Oh, now I know the movie you guys are
I
talking
believe
about.
it's streaming on Amazon or HBO or somewhere right now.
I wrote it down. I'm gonna watch it. I got my notepad right here.
And I think Adam's in agreement with us because he says JJ would freely admit that he is influenced by John Carpenter. I agree. Even Super 8. Like, Super 8 feels like a John Carpenter film.
Interesting.
John Carpenter meets Spielberg.
Right. I like the first
I like Action.
60 minutes of Super 8. After that, it kind of loses me.
Action's like, I got to hit a bowl after this. He's just smoking.
By the way, if anyone,
Yo, Tim, it's been
real-
stressful as fuck. I gotta smoke this opium real quick.
if anyone in our chat wants to send myself or Tim Franco any edibles down in Arizona, we appreciate it because weed is not legal down here.
That's sad. And
I know, man. It's killing me.
Give Florida some love?
It's just medical.
It's just medical down here, and your boy needs it. So just saying.
It's because of
Evan, you live in a state where they still fly the Confederate flag. You ain't getting legal weed for a while.
Yeah, you live in the South.
Wait.
They
Jimmy
still refer to
Buffett.
the Civil War as
Florida
that
man
bit of
himself.
unpleasantness.
Florida man himself, Jimmy Buffett, has a medical dispensary here named the Coral Reefers. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Evan, I don't think Aaliyah's in the chat anymore, so it doesn't matter.
God damn it. Someone clip this for her. Thank you. Sorry, Drew, are you here? Michael,
Who's Aaliyah? Your girlfriend, homie?
No, Aaliyah's a good friend of mine. Her and her husband are really good friends of mine.
Okay.
Yes, they used to do the all the belts podcast for the Schmoedown back in the day.
Back in the old days, Kaiser.
She's the only other person I know besides Evan that's a Jimmy Buffett. Well, no, a good friend of mine is also a Jimmy Buffett.
I can't stand Jimmy Buffett. And I think he just needs to go away.
I agree with Kaiser on this.
Horrific.
Cat. Kaiser. How?
Jimmy Buffett's a piece of shit.
In what way?
Music sucks.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, if you don't have a pulse.
I have a pulse.
I don't know about that.
We really shook the pillars of heaven. That's a great line.
It
Kaiser,
really
I
is.
better from you.
The shaking the pillars of heaven is something I quote still to this day anytime we have a good time. Tim knows this. He and I have talked about this. Anytime we go to the bar, we shook the pillars of heaven.
Pillars of heaven being shooken.
PJ, you're no stranger to a glass of beer.
It's true, man. You know that. You've been there with me.
I've ridden with you, Tombstone style.
It's true, and we will ride real Tombstone style soon enough, my friend.
Well, I can tell you, in Atlanta, it wasn't beer. It was just a Rona.
I'll say this. John Mariano says we need to buy Kaiser a cape. The man is more my hero now than ever.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Johnny.
Here's the cliffhanger of the movie.
Kaiser, what are you drinking?
Apple juice.
It's a damn lie, but fair enough.
Oh man, he's still alive.
So how much do you guys want to think that The Rock tries to find a way to incorporate that ending into his movie if they ever actually make it?
Is that really going to happen? That movie's not getting made.
I don't think it's going to, because Fox owns the rights. Now Fox is owned by Disney, of course. Do you think they'll ever actually make it?
And didn't they want to make it now? Like, look at my uncle is the
Larry Franco. Your boy was the first AD.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I don't think Disney has any idea that they actually want to touch this thing, personally speaking.
I don't know, man. Bob Iger is behind Disney Plus. I don't sleep on anything that man wants to do or doesn't want to do.
Good point, Evan.
That's true. I mean, look, okay. So we've all sat down. We just watched the film, and I'm going to start with Kaiser real quick because we're already talking about this. But, we've watched the perfect film that is Big Trouble in Little China. We know that they've threatened to remake it or do a sequel of some sort to it. Would you touch this film, or do we leave it as it is right now?
If they decide to make a sequel, I'm going to assemble the entire dungeon to descend upon whatever production office thinks they're going to pull this piece of shit off, and we won't let it happen. This is a perfect film. It should be left alone. It belongs in a museum, as a famous archaeologist once said. Now, if you want to get his son to play the character, I'm open to hearing about that, but I don't want to see no Disney cheat. They just covered Daryl Hannah's ass, for Christ's sakes, in Splash. Do we want these people doing a reboot of the beautiful movie?
Tommy Lee Wallace, the second unit director. He worked with Carpenter a lot.
Yeah,
really?
He was the director of Halloween 2.
See, this is what you get with Franco. This wealth of knowledge. This kid is seriously, I think you were born in a museum, kid. So look, I sent over a PDF. You can sign it with it's a digital signature. You got to retire tomorrow. Get it set up for Friday. We're
going to make it happen, number one.
Happening.
Tim Sim now finishing it for the first time called this one unique movie, but he said it with an exclamation point. I think he's happy you watched it. Tim, if we've rewatched it now, we've sat here, we've looked at it, we've talked about it. Does the movie still hold up, and would you want to see The Rock try to do his spin on this?
I mean, I'm always I'm going to give my opinion. I'm okay. Were you talking to me or talking to Tim? You're talking to Tim, right?
Tim Franco. Tim Franco,
sorry.
not Tim Sim. Sorry.
I'm fine with any movie being remade at this point. I have one of those takes on it where I don't really care because I always have the original, and and we might get something really good, and we might not get something that's that good, and really just all that means is I don't need to watch it. So I don't really care. I mean, they can do what they want.
Smart answer right there. Go make whatever. Because at least if they make it, that gives people jobs. So that was good in that regard, right?
Also, if they make it, that's just going to mean potentially more people will be exposed to the original because they might be like, hey, let me see what the original. They're remaking this movie. Let me see what the original was like, and they'll see what this one's all about.
Create a resurgence, maybe.
Anything that brings attention to something that I care about, I think, is good.
Tim Sim says he had a blast watching this, but now, and I want to go to Tim and Kaiser first. Stardrew says that Howard the Duck is more unique than this film. I'll start with you two gentlemen before we move to Evan. What do you think about that statement?
Kaiser's shaking his head, but I for nostalgia purposes, I love the Howard the Duck movie from 1986. I think the movie is 86 as well, actually, maybe it's later. I don't know, but
isn't it ironic?
I mean, more unique. I don't think it's more unique because I feel like this movie just blends so many different genres, and it just you can't really lock it down into one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Howard the Duck is pretty much just sci-fi fantasy, really, and I guess some comedy. I mean, it's bonkers. It's out there for sure. I mean, you got duck boobs.
It's not a bad movie, but it ain't a great movie.
You got the duck boobs in it, which is.
This is a great movie. That's a good movie. There's a difference.
This is a great.
I agree with Kaiser.
Howard the Duck is a fun movie because it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I saw that in the theater
And
because
Leah
I'm
Thompson.
89 years old.
And Leah Thompson's in it.
Ooh, she's hot still.
We do love Leah Thompson.
Oof.
Evan, this was your first time watching Big Trouble in Little China. Where are you standing right now on all this?
It's a lot of fun. I think it's the same way I feel about Tremors. It's definitely of its time and exists of its time for a reason. As Kaiser leaves, as I make a big pitch to him, that's okay. It's of its time, and you can't hate on Kurt Russell. You can't hate on Kung Fu per se. It's aged. I can't say poorly or well, but it's aged for sure. But I can't take away how much fun the movie is, and And I can't take away people's love for it because I get it. I get the love. I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. Shout out to Kurt Russell and shout out to John Carpenter for doing what they did. I do gotta say the watch along was a lot of fun. I do think Tim Franco should maybe be on the dungeon. Kaiser and Franco vibe a little bit. Like I said, Kaiser though, my offer is always open. I can hit people that you've never thought about hitting before. That's all I gotta
sounded
say.
a borderline sexual. I can hit people that I've never would have hit. You know, Evan.
Audiences.
Evan, for your sake, I hope you're still getting royalties from Disney when they took Pinocchio from your life story and decided to make it a movie. I hope you're still getting those royalty checks, kid.
I don't even like
You're like Pinocchio Bieber, is what you are.
I expect better jokes from you.
You know, I just real quick, I respect Evan's opinion. I'm just going to counter real quick. I don't think this movie really is of its time. I feel like this movie did things that are like outside the like would have been the norm in the 80s, and I think even now this movie is not. You couldn't
make this movie now, Tim.
Well, no, and to like just make fun of Hollywood for a second, but like this movie, if they made this, would they really like use as many Asian actors as this movie used? I mean,
that's a good point.
This movie, so I feel
in fear of offending people, or what do you mean when you say that?
I just feel like no, they just have a history of not really taking a chance on using like Asian actors who are maybe not well known. This movie didn't care about that because for one, Carpenter comes from more of an independent like line.
Of course.
He's fine with using like no names or like people.
He was like Corman infiltrated Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
But even to that, if you look today towards films like and this is obviously a little bit older, but you have Old Boy, which was 2006, and then now recently you have Crazy Rich Asians, and you have films like Parasite. I think Asian cinema and Asian culture is probably at its peak within Western cinema. I think it's only going to get stronger and only going to get better from here because we now have a culture and a society of people who are a lot more accepting of people and exactly who they are to be. And I think whilst this movie, Big Trouble in Little China, could be important for its time, we are now in 2020 in a place where we can literally take movies, and I would even argue movies like Queen and Slim, Creed 2, the first Creed, where we now have all these different cultures of cinema. We just saw
foreign film win Best Picture. I mean,
yeah, but Evan, we're also only a few years removed from Ghost in the Shell and Aloha.
But it only takes 1 or 2 years to change a whole movement.
I think everybody understands now that different cultures have different voices, unique, fun stories. It isn't the same old shit. You know what I mean? And that's why, PJ, what's the name of the picture that won Best Picture?
Parasite.
Parasite was the most unique story of the year. And I thought, to me, it was either going to be 1917 or Parasite. 17 because it was a complete spectacle. I saw it, on a big screen, just the best visual presentation of anything I saw all year. That said, Parasite had the best story of the year. It's like a Twilight Zone episode that came to life and knocked everybody's socks off. And that is a singular vision from a culture that is outside of the U.S. So, just having that, if people can just be cool with having good stories from different point of views, from different cultures, you'll start to see things like this maybe open up again, because it's been so rigid. The system has been so rigid for so long. And that's why it's like nobody needs Hobbs and Shaw anymore. I understand why the studio does, because they need to make their money for the year. But these aren't good movies. I'm sorry, they're not.
I mean, look, I enjoy Hobbs and Shaw as like a decent action film to spend 2 hours. But like, I'm not gonna say they're good. I mean, but I will say also to Evan's point, and I'm hoping
we're
past
you think
this.
in 20 years anybody's gonna watch Hobbs and Shaw again?
Right, and
they'll watch Big Trouble in Little China. They'll watch Escape from New York.
Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. More than anything, I think is that like I hope that continues to be the way that it goes, because every 20 to 30 years we seem to like dip into Asian cinema where Enter the Dragon was very popular and Bruce Lee's films were very popular. Then we waited a little bit.
Crouching Tiger won a Best Picture?
No, I don't think Crouching Tiger won. And like you look
was it nominated?
It was nominated, I think. I want to say
good fucking movie.
But Jackie Chan was popular in the 90s, and then we let Jackie Chan taper off. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to believe that we're finally at a point where Parasite winning means that we start looking at the Asian culture and Asian cinema and all more than that. All cultures, right. Right, exactly. And the only reason I say that is specifically just because we're talking about Big Trouble.
Of course.
So that's just one of
But
those
to
things.
Evan's point, he's right. Asian films had with Crazy Rich Asians, like,
Right.
it was a great year just certainly for Asian cinema, but I think for all cultures, like you were saying, that's a statement saying like, hey, going forward, maybe we can all be a little tolerant of watching a subtitle. I've been watching subtitles my whole life. That shit don't bother me.
Yeah, because
Greatest
you and I are
story
cultured.
rule. Right.
We're cultured. That's the difference. And I don't mean that to be mean to people
No,
in the
you're not
chat
trying
who
to
may,
sound like
yeah.
a film snob. I get it.
No, and I just mean like I grew up watching a lot of martial arts films, and I'd much rather watch subtitled than dubbed. That's just me, because to me, at least, I got to see them act. To me, that's a big deal. Mike K says it would be nice if foreign films were given wider theatrical releases domestically.
Yeah, but they don't make money. But they don't make money, so that's
the problem.
It's a business. It's show business for a reason, right?
Right.
We've all heard that term. We've all people. Go ahead, Tim. People argue that.
I was just gonna say that's why if you're lucky enough to live in a city that has like small theaters, like we do here in
Right.
places that like show those movies, go out and find them if you can. But unfortunately, not every town can have like the art house, independent, nonprofit theaters. But
Right.
have them.
And even to that point, I would say I work at the theater on FSU. Support your like if you're a college viewer, which I highly doubt. I'm probably the only college person who's watching this, which fair enough. Support your college cinemas. We do what we can to program movies that come from literally everywhere. We have different subsections, and we also show classic movies.
Are you a film major, Evan? Are you a film major?
No, I'm actually a finance psychology major. Fun facts, but that's because I want to film produce. So I want to get
smart. Go start with finance and then get the creative arts shit on the other end. You're smart. You're doing it right.
I appreciate that. But yeah, support your college cinemas, because I know at least here at FSU, and I know in other places, we do what we can to actually show different parts of cinema that just aren't your big blockbuster movies. So. Yeah,
hey, I'm going to ask Tim Franco a question. I'm going to go around the room, but I'll start with Franco. You can program a double feature for your family and friends of 2 foreign films. So it's like, you get a double feature, 2 foreign films for all your family. You get to pack the theater with your family and friends. I'll go to PJ Evan after that, but I'll start with you, Tim.
I got mine.
2 foreign films.
2 foreign films for a double feature, programmed by Tim Franco.
Well, okay, so I would probably
look at Evan. He shit himself.
I would probably do. Okay, there's this movie that came out. I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, called Lost in Paris. The French film. It's really fun, really good. It's a comedy. It's about a guy who's like homeless, and he ends up like getting mistaken as someone else, and like it's just this. And it's this whole adventure across the city of Paris, and it's a love story between him and this lady. And there's like confusion because she doesn't know he's like actually a homeless person. And it's really, really funny. And then I think my second one it's not going to really fit. It's going to be like 2 different emotional scales, but I think it would probably be Old Boy. I think Old Boy
I love it.
Old Boy is just incredible. So
Such
I think
a great fucking
I would make you laugh a lot.
I love it.
And I would just like rip your heart out, rip your soul out with Old Boy.
All right. So I know mine, man. And it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day because I've been watching a lot of martial arts films lately. My number 1 is Police Story. I think Police Story is the greatest martial arts film of all time. Jackie Chan directed it. It's got a little bit of Charlie Chaplin in it. It's just a good film. Like, I love that movie to pieces. My number 2 is Ip Man. And my reason for Ip Man is I think it is also a film that speaks to culture at the time of when the movie is set. So we're seeing Hong Kong in a light that you may not necessarily normally see. And it's also a great martial arts film. So I think you're getting a little bit of the excitement and the action out of it, but you're also getting like a story out of it. And I think that's a big deal.
All right, Evan, you're up, kid.
So I'm done shitting my pants. I'm definitely gonna go straight French cinema, and this won't be a surprise because some of the viewers know. Like, my favorite Pixar movie is Ratatouille. My favorite Disney film is Beauty and the Beast. For some reason, I love the backdrop of France. I think for whatever reason, it's completely stunning. How it's portrayed.
French New Wave cinema, man.
Exactly, but when we speak French films, I think the first movie we would go with is Triplets of Belleville.
Ooh, that's a great film.
Nice. Yeah,
a really nice, digestible animated film that tells a really cool story
and
about.
You can revisit that movie your whole life. That's what's great about it.
It's such a rewatchable film.
You can revisit that movie your whole life.
Yeah, and the second one was actually me, Amelie. I think Amelie is really good at visual storytelling. The score is absolutely amazing, and
that's in my top 10, brother. Amelie's in my top 10 all time.
Wow, look at you! Look at
That
that!
is the Junet. He's a fucking phenomenal filmmaker.
What was your
Yeah,
second film? Was it Amelie?
Amelie, great film.
They're both.
It's a perfect film.
It is.
It
It
is.
is a perfect film.
It's a perfect
And
film. It's a
really well
10.
paced. For it being 2 hours 9 minutes, it's still really well paced. You don't feel like
Perfect
it's that
film.
long. It just keeps going. It's actually a really
Uh,
different take on a love story that we don't see often.
It's one of the
All
most it's one of the most unique things I've ever seen in cinema history.
And let me just
Hell yeah.
throw out real quick, City of God. If you guys have never seen it,
Great
it's like
one.
one of the great crime films. Like
I might put City of God actually in mine instead of Old Boy.
Tim,
I'm just saying, man.
Like,
I'm just saying.
That's
Like
a
it's
coin
good
flip,
stuff.
though, Tim. Today it might be Old Boy, and
Yeah.
tomorrow it might be City. It's a coin flip.
I just want to say, Stardrew says hers would be Attack the Block and Old Boy. So she's going a little
Ooh.
British cinema mixed with a little bit of the, Asian cinema. And I like that. I think that's a great call. Mike K is saying great movies, Evan. So
Yeah, Evans was strong. I wrote everybody's down to make sure that
Thanks,
I'm going to
Kaiser.
watch the ones that I haven't seen. But
Fair enough.
I'll answer my question. I'll answer my own question. My double feature, foreign cinema. So I said 2001 is the greatest movie I think I've ever seen. I told you guys that earlier as the most cinematic achievement I've ever seen. That said, the most poignant, best story I've ever seen told on screen to me is The Bicycle Thief. So that would be my number one.
Yes, I was going to say that too.
that's a great
That movie rip your heart out, man. I mean, you talk about having to provide for your family when you can't, and the chips are down, and DeSica's using real people who work at the bakery to act in the movie. It's post World War II. The city's bombed out. I mean, you're living on the set of a real life movie, and so to me, it's one of the most prolific things I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to open with Bicycle Thief.
That's such a great movie, dude. I love that movie. It was one I had to watch for film school back in the day. I love that movie.
And my number two, now I don't know, this technically is a foreign film and it technically isn't, but I'm going to say Blow Up by Michelangelo Antonioni. Because even though it's in English and it was shot in London, to me, Antonioni is a foreign filmmaker. It just happened to be I think he did 2 movies in English. The Passenger with Jack Nicholson and this movie are the only 2 Antonioni movies I believe are in English. But to me, that's a foreign film. When I saw that movie in film school, it changed my life because everything up until then was Die Hard, Big Trouble in Little China, Predator. And then I saw Blow Up and I'm like, holy shit. Now I understand there's a whole nother world of cinema out there. And then I started learning about your Antonionis and your DeSicas and Godards and all these people. So movie changed my life. I'm going to say Bicycle Thief, Blow Up. That's my double feature.
John Mariano coming in here with Gojira and Drunken Master.
Yeah,
shit.
Gojira is definitely a really different. It's not the different take on Godzilla, but it's a take on Godzilla that you won't see out of Western cinema. And it's
right.
kind of
It was the
Wait,
original.
what the fuck is this?
Gojira is the original Godzilla, my friend.
Yeah.
From what year?
The 50s one. The one that we released here as Godzilla that had Raymond Burr was originally called Gojira. And that was the joke that Roland Emmerich even put, is that Americans didn't understand that his name is Godzilla or Gojira, not Godzilla.
No, I knew that. I knew originally that was the character's name. I did not realize, I didn't understand the film he was talking about.
Yeah, so he's
There's
talking
been
about
1,000 fucking Godzilla movies.
Yeah, so he's talking about the original straight Raymond Burr version, but I'm going to guess he's talking about it without the Americanized Raymond Burr aspect.
Gotcha. And Raymond Burr played Perry Mason.
Basically, yes.
Right.
I'm
That
glad
was a
you
good
do
movie
that.
I just thought. Another
Say
good
again.
foreign film I just thought of was The Vanishing
The
From-
Vanishing.
from 1988.
Oh,
There was
right.
a remake. There was an English remake that's not good, but the original one's really good. It's really, really dark, thriller, and very,
The
you're
fucking
not gonna be
movie.
happy after you watch it. It's not a happy movie.
Right.
Good.
Zipper was telling me his favorite movie last year. It was a French film.
I'm not sure which one. I know he loved.
Yeah,
No, but there was one in particular.
Mono?
Say it again, Tim.
Manos?
No.
No, because I know Eric Zipper. Eric Zipper is like us. He loves foreign cinema. I'm not sure what one he's talking about off the top of my head.
What the hell? I wish I'd have wrote it down. He told me there was a French film. It was his favorite movie of the year. And usually he knows what he's talking about. And
Yep.
when he says go see a movie, the one movie he told me to see that I'm ashamed to say I haven't, but he's like, Kaiser, you fucking idiot, you need to go see this movie, was Mandy.
Oh, dude, Mandy's great.
Yeah,
Mandy's
Zip's like,
great, bro.
Kaiser, what are you doing,
Mandy's
dude? Go
great.
see this movie. He's like, what are you doing? He was like
Mandy's
mad
on
at me. I
Shudder.
ain't seen it.
Another reason to get Shudder. It's a Shudder exclusive.
Yeah, and I would also say if you've seen Mandy and you loved Mandy, or if you haven't seen it yet, double Mandy with The Color Out of Space, which also has one
Same
of our
filmmaker?
Nick Cage is in both.
Yeah.
And
That's
they're
okay, that's right.
very similar. And
Right. And
one
the
of our
kid, right.
yeah, I was going to say,
That's a
What was
lot.
that?
That's a lot of Nick Cage.
yeah, but it's good
I
Nick
know,
Cage.
seriously, dude. You see that much Nick Cage, you're like, I'm good for 2 years. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
So
Here's what I'll
So
say
speaking
real
of Nick
quick,
Cage-
Evan, real quick, just to go prove my point. If you ever wanted to see Nick Cage do a Trump impersonation, you've got to watch The Color Out of Space.
Yeah.
So speaking of Nick Cage, I think it's kind of time to close us out. Make us wrap ourselves up. PJ, what do you think?
I mean, I guess we can, but you got to go ahead and do everything that we got to do first before.
Evan,
All right.
before you close down the show, I want you to go behind the curtain, get me a pair of size 11 and a half track shoes.
Got you
I'm
ready?
going to try
Watch it.
these on real quick. Thank you. I mean, it's
3
literally,
minutes.
this man lives in a shoe store.
He does. He lives in a shoe store in Florida.
Here we go. First things first. We got our Nick Cage starred in National Treasure tomorrow. Our watch along. That's what we're doing. I love National Treasure. I know PJ Campbell does. It's gonna be a really good time. We're gonna steal the fucking Declaration of Independence. So I
And
hope you
just-
guys.
And just remember to
I
think.
love it. You just won me with that line. We're going to steal the fucking Declaration of Independence.
And if you guys
You
are
might have
excited
it
about
in the
that,
dungeon, PJ. I don't know. That was a great catchphrase.
I think he should, number one. And thank Kaiser for that, because Kaiser having to move this up a day meant that we needed to
Oh.
do something tomorrow. So this is all because of Kaiser that we're stealing the fucking Declaration
I'll
of
take the
Independence.
credit. I'll take the credit.
Yeah,
I know
It's
I'm
that
so-
good.
chaotic energy. I don't have the thumbnail on me here. However, I will be saying on Saturday we are doing Mario Kart Double Dash for Family Game Night, our third rendition. It's gonna be a really good time. It's gonna be myself, Chris Clark, my buddy Ralph Lenardic, and we're also gonna have Kristen Smith, one of the best people in the community.
Hey,
We're all gonna be
she's a
playing-
sweetheart. You tell Kristen I said hello. Tell her Kaiser loves her. She's a sweetheart.
We'll do that. And we're all four of us are gonna play Mario Kart Double Dash tomorrow, and it's gonna be a really good
So
time.
people are going to watch you play video games. That sounds like the worst thing I could possibly do to spend
The
my
ch-
night.
Dude, the chat loves it because we all
chat
talk
loves
about
it.
stuff while we do it. So
I know. I'm
Yeah.
breaking his balls, and I'm half
And then
serious.
Hey man, on Sunday, we're going over the greatest Broadway musicals of all time. Will Mary Poppins show up once again? I'm putting my bets on it. There, PJ Campbell, you gotta love this, right?
yeah, and we've got some good guests. We've got Video Drew coming on. We've got Rachel Silvestrini coming on.
Wow.
Evan will be there. Chris Clark is going to be there. And my friend Maxwell Haddad, who is like the Broadway guy. You're not going to want to miss this.
No, you're not. And on top of that, Tuesday, I don't have the thumbnail for this. How is it that I don't have thumbnail for either of my
You
shows?
skip Monday.
Oh, Monday too. Well, we have two shows on Monday. That's
Exactly.
the ironic part. 420. We have a special show, PJ.
We do. We have a
What is
special
this?
show.
What is this show? This is you two idiots get high and fucking talk to people.
Oh, well, we're gonna
What is
be
this dumb fuck show?
we are gonna be talking to Rachel Silvestrini and Mark Andreyko and Maxwell Haddad about the greatest stoner films of all
Do we have
time.
one other one
Mark Andreyko is a bona fide genius.
Exactly.
That man is literally one of the smartest human beings, and he's a hell of a storyteller too, man.
So you got to respect that we have
You got
him coming
Mark Andreyko on your show?
to talk about stoner films.
Wow,
Wait,
I'm
PJ, do we
impressed.
have one more?
He's an
He-
A-list. That's an
he-
A-lister right there.
Kaiser, he did what you did. He messaged me to make sure he
Bro,
could be on.
will you tell Andreyko I said I think he's one of the greatest dudes in this game? And
You
shout out to
goddamn
him.
right I will.
Tell him I said that.
I will definitely do that.
Shout out to Mark Andreyko. He's always out here doing big things, helping the community out. We love to see it, right?
And he's busy too. He's got a life. He's a smart. He's
Busy
a fucking
guy.
storyteller. He gets paid to tell stories. Like
And we are doing this
he
at
don't have
4
to do this shit for his friends. What a credit to his being.
Yeah, and he's going to be on. We're doing it at 4:20 in the
You think
afternoon.
you think
EST.
Tim Franco wants to be here? He could be signing autographs at the Howard Johnson in Sacramento right now. Probably making $5,000, but he did it for you, PJ. So
I know, man.
fucking
Look,
Franco's like a legend of this fucking game, man.
Sir?
We'll get there. Don't worry. And
Draco,
Sacramento,
legend.
Sacramento's my hometown, by the way. So if Franco's in Sacramento signing stuff, he's there because we sent him there.
On top of that,
he's a legend, man. He's a fucking
yes,
legend.
sir. On Tuesday, we're gonna have Tim Franco's really good friends and PJ Campbell's too. We have Late to the Party on my podcast, Famous Last Words, where we just kind of sit down when we chat.
Now,
We
when
talk
you say Tim Franco's good friends, you mean the Russian mafia?
potentially. It depends. It depends where they come from. It depends
That'd
where
be
they don't.
fine.
I can't tell you things, Kaiser. The more I talk, the more trouble I get in. So how about
When
you
you say
shut your
that-
mouth and I can't get in trouble with the mafia?
One last thing. When
Yeah.
you say Tim Franco's good friends, do you mean the Sons of Anarchy?
No, the Fathers of Anarchy. Anyways, we have Late to the Party coming on Tuesday. We're gonna be doing a live stream. No, not a live stream. We're gonna figure it out, but they'll be on the show. Famous Last Words. I hope you guys are excited for that. We're gonna sit down and figure out where the hell they came from, why they're part of this community, and for better or worse, why people watch them. So there's that, and then also we have probably our biggest announcement so far. This bad boy, Young Guns 2, starring Mark fucking Baby Carrots Ellis, a guy I can say I look up to. PJ, one of PJ's really good friends, Tim Franco. I've seen a picture with him, and Kaiser. I don't know what you think about Mark Ellis, but I'm gonna say good things. I'm really excited. Probably one of my most anticipated watch-alongs. Probably one of the most anticipated videos that we got on the channel. Mark Ellis for Young Guns 2, and there's also a joke with Pat Hogue and Frank Janisch, but I don't want to get into that. That's kind of all our announcements. And PJ, I think also something rotten with Tommy Boy.
If we do, we're going to be doing our first episode of Something Rotten this week. Frank Janisch and I are going to be revisiting the classic film Tommy Boy, a film that I love more than anything. It is our first episode. It is Rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, so we want to look back at this fucking genuine classic and give it the due that it deserves. We're going to be talking about the late, great Chris Farley and how much we love him, as well as his relationship with David Spade. I'm very excited about that. That is my favorite comedy of all time. So I'm
Tommy Boy's your number one.
But Tommy Boy's my number one.
Good
Blues
one.
Brothers, yeah. Blues Brothers is my number two.
That's my number one.
Yeah.
Blues
So
Brothers my number one.
look, dude, we all love Lorne Michaels. We love SNL. We love what it does. So I'm
Look
excited.
at him. He really is on acid. Look at how this idiot's dancing in the
I
upper
know,
right-hand corner.
I know, man.
I'm dancing to the Blues Brothers.
PJ, the kid has zero attention span. Look at
I
him.
know.
That
But,
is true. I live with ADHD.
but
so
he
welcome.
wants to work with you, Kaiser. Just remember that.
Well, it's good that he's ambitious.
Exactly.
Anything else we got, Evan?
No, that's about it. We also have Chris Clark suddenly soundtracks, but knowing Chris Clark, he's gonna sing for us and make probably the best announcement video that any of us have ever seen. So just watch out for that on our Facebook pages and our Twitters. And with that, I think it's about time to close out the show. Kaiser, I hope you enjoyed my presence. I hope my acid trip was
Wait.
strong enough for you.
Wait. Before we
What?
close out, you promised Kaiser something.
We did.
You promised Kaiser.
Oh,
Got it.
fuck.
The
That's
fucking
true.
film theme song.
All right, I
I'm
got
gonna
you.
go
I got you.
now because I don't want to hear it. I'm just kidding.
Franco, you know what? I think he's on. I think you're right. I don't want to hear that shit either.
Yeah, you do. It's
Are you
happening.
going for it?
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
really going
for it.
for it?
I fucking go for it.
This is where you seal your deal. This is where you put it all on. This is where you show you got a set of balls. It's like Jack Burton wearing the lipstick.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your life is a joke, but you're broke. Your love's a DOA. You're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't started. Your day, your week, your month, but you're gonna be.
I think we've heard enough.
Yeah, we've heard enough, Evan.
You know, I got news for you. I got news for you. Tim Franco has other places to be right now than listen to you sing this bullshit. This man is a celebrity. He's a legend.
What,
All right.
Kaiser?
He's got a Wookiee for a pet. I gotta say, this was a shitload of fun. I love you guys all. It was good to bullshit. You guys are four of the funniest dudes. Well, there's three of you, but I'm the fourth. But I couldn't ask for four dudes who I'd rather watch this movie with, drink beers, talk shop. It was a blast.
I would love to have you back, man. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk off camera because there's some more I want to do with you, especially the Carpenter stuff. But it is my genuine pleasure, everyone who is watching tonight, to say we had John Kaiser in the house talking Big Trouble in Little China. Kaiser, where can everyone find you online?
Well, you can find me at Tim Franco's new manager /the dungeon /get the deal done .Kaiser. No, I just got at Kaiser says so on the Twitter. And other than that, just Google me. You'll figure it out.
I love it. I love it so much. Kaiser, again, thank you for being here talking one of the all-time classics.
Do it
No
again,
matter,
but here's the deal. If we're doing it again, I want to make sure it's got to be Franco or Witt, or I don't want to do it with nobody.
we will always have Franco with you.
You know, because I got to have guys I can riff with. A lot of these
I know,
people
man.
out here, they're half asleep. They're on Xanax. They drink too much cough medicine. I don't want to deal with that. I got to deal with I deal with legends. So give me Witt or Franco.
I'll get you both on the next one.
All
I will
right.
promise you. I
All
will
right.
make sure both of them are there. Tim Franco, where can the kids find you online?
You can not find me on Facebook. I removed my Facebook, so I won't be able to see all the chat about Kaiser wanting me to join the dungeon. But you can find me on Twitter at tfranco84. Follow me. Don't follow me. It doesn't matter to me.
See? You talk like you're in the dungeon, kid.
And yeah, so got a bond match coming up, so it'll be released eventually.
Hey, let me know how you do in that match, man. I want to hear about it after it's over.
I will. I'll let you know.
Text me and let me know. Go beat those motherfuckers.
I will.
All right.
And yeah.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram, PJ_Campbell. You can find me here every day almost at this point at the PJ Campbell Network. You can find me drunkenly ordering Police, the Naked Gun Police TV series that they just released on Blu-ray. They released the 6 episodes through Shout Factory on Blu-ray. I literally drunk ordered it while we were doing this because we love Leslie Nielsen in this house, and I need to have Police Squad.
And don't forget, you can find Evan sniffing glue in his garage in about 14 minutes.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Evan, where can everyone find you?
Let me plug myself, please. Couple of things. First of all, I appreciated Tim and Kaiser being on our stream today. A lot of fun. Some very fine lad dudes here. Jay, I think the ship nearly sank, but we kept it afloat. That's all that matters.
No, Kaiser kept it afloat. It had nothing to do with us.
I do want to shout out our Streamlab donors one more time. Sean Sullivan, Tim Sim, and Matt Beer. Thanks so much for donating, guys. We really, really do appreciate it. Keeping the channel alive and afloat. And last but not least, you guys can follow me at 11 Degraff live right here. It's right there. Follow me on Twitter. I like ranking Pixar movies, so you guys can find me there. And Kaiser, slide into our DMs, bro. I'd be a good consultant. That's all I gotta say. PJ, hopefully you can speak for me, and maybe I'm just dumb, but I can speak to the younger audience.
That's great. Maybe if you put a box of waffles on my porch, I'll think about it. All right. I'll
send
talk
it
to you
right
guys
now.
later. You guys are the best.
All right, guys. Thank you again so much for listening. It looks like Kaiser has exited out without even us getting to say goodbye. We will see you guys tomorrow night where we talk National Treasure, 7 p.m. PST, 10 p.m. EST. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. See you.